Oh my gosh. Oh, it's too big. That's what she said. Balls everywhere. Oh my God. Hey friends, welcome back to another video and the last week of 2024. I cannot believe that we're here. It has been a year. It's been a year. I think I'm gonna do maybe a repot and chat at some point, kind of reflecting more on the year and talking about life on YouTube and life in this hobby and just kind of chatting about that. This week is gonna be busy because I'm leaving for California soon. I have so much to do before I go and I wanna get a lot done this week. I have repots that need to get done. I usually don't wanna repot anything sooner than, or anything later than 3 weeks coming up to a trip because I wanna make sure that the transition went well. I'm doing a trade with my friends Dania and Katie over in California. I'm actually gonna be meeting them in person, which is so exciting. So I have all these plants that I've set aside that I need to chop and propagate for them. I need to redo my shelf out there. I was filming my crystallinum video. I don't know if you could see all the chaos around me, but I filmed both crystallinum videos and so the shelf just got completely stripped. Like she's in a bad way. I have seedlings that I need to pot up, like that are in its containers still. I have seedlings that are going to be distributed in the United States of America. My narrow pallies, people have been asking me about it. Rose over at Plant Babe is gonna be my US distributor, so she's gonna be selling them on Palm Street. If you're wondering why I chose to go this way, it was easier for me and it's gonna be cheaper for you in the States to have it come from Rose rather than come from me, where you have to pay shipping from Canada, you have to pay for Fido, all of that stuff. So it's just better for you guys. And then I'm gonna be keeping some here in Canada for anyone in Canada that wants to buy a seedling. So I need to get those handled. What else do I need to do? My sister bought a new house and she's got all of this natural light in the house now, so you guys, this fungus gnat has been trying to attack me for the last hour. My sister has a brand new house, windows everywhere, and so I'm going to be chopping plants for her. I'm gonna be giving her some of my plants. My micans, oh, you can't see it, it's out of frame. Is it? My second micans that I rehabbed is going to be going to her. So I'm gonna miss it very much, but I know that she's been wanting a nice big micans and I already have one, or I have another one that's growing really well, so I don't need both. And yeah, we just gotta do all the things. It's gonna be a long week. I think this week of is gonna be really long, honestly. I'm feeling ambitious. I'm feeling confident and strong. I think that I can get everything done. And I just want to go into the new year just knowing that everything that needed to be repot is repotted and my seedlings are where they need to be because I have been stressed. So anyway, today you guys, I think I'm gonna focus on the living room shelf because again, it looks like a hot mess. I have to see it all the time and I need to do spider mite treatments. I need to re-inoculate the plants. I need to fertilize. So probably most of it is gonna be time-lapsed because I am alone here with Archie today. And unless you wanna hear a baby pterodactyl screaming in the background, it's probably best that I do a time-lapse. So yeah, let's start with that. I'm going to change and get more comfy because I'm wearing the clothes that I wore in the last video I filmed. So yeah, let me show you. I'm gonna show you what the living room shelf looks like right now because it looks crazy. Say hi to your friends, Lovey. Why do you look so sad? I swear you guys, he's a happy dog. Okay, here is the plant shelf. It is a disaster. It's a freaking disaster. I think this is the worst it's ever looked, seriously. I cannot remember the last time it was this bad. So obviously I need to bring back the plants that are in my plant room. I need to put them back here. I need to figure out which ones of these are gonna go to my sister because I think I can afford to give her like at least 2 or 3 of them. I might have some to sell. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think where I'm gonna start is by gutting them. Gutting my shelf and maybe showing you some highlights. I don't know, we'll see. I have to be silent as a rat because my child is sleeping and I get so much done when he's sleeping. So let's try and keep it that way. I'm just gonna protect my table. Because I'm gonna be doing a lot of plant stuff here. And I was gonna try and take all of my plants to the shower, but I don't have it in me. So I'm just gonna be doing sprays here. And maybe I'll do instead of doing like a pesticide, I'll do like the alcohol spray concoction. So it's a little bit less abrasive on the lungs. Okay, I need to start with who is gonna go. So let me bring you closer. I don't know why you're all the way over here. Okay, first things first, I think this one is gonna go to my sister because I already have my main plant, my philodendron SP Silver, SP Columbia, El Guapo, whatever it's called now, the one with the tight veins. I think that she's gonna like this one because she loves the Dean McDowell. And so I feel like this is kind of right up her alley. This one is the top cutting and it's just rooting in water. I think what I'm gonna do is actually chop off both leaves when I bring it to her, just because, I mean, this one is already looking really sad, but this one's kind of starting to go and I just don't see the point in trying to keep this leaf, you know, on the way to California. So this one is gonna go to her. Also, is it just me, but I love the days where it's chaos here. I don't know why, if it's my ADHD, but the days that I get to just gut this shelf and there's plants everywhere, it just makes me so happy. It's crazy, it's chaos, but I love it. Who is another one that I can give my sister? Honestly, I should probably give her my Hoyas because I'm not loving on them the way that I should be. I never thought I'd see a day where I'd get rid of this plant. But I think that she would appreciate it more than me. My Hoya Nicholsonia New Guinea Ghost. Do you guys remember how glorious this thing was at one point? I'll throw in a picture here. It was crazy, and then it just randomly rotted, and it was kind of like an uphill battle ever since then, but it's finally growing back now. Like, look at all of this growth on here. It's cray-cray. It's got a new leaf finally. So I think it's time. It wants to go live in California where it'll get natural light from the sun and be happy. Okay, I know she said she wanted some anthurium, so I'm going to give her this one. I got this one from Alice. It looks, oh my gosh, my hair's everywhere. It looks like a forgetii hybrid, but this is another one that I'm probably gonna chop all the leaves off just because I'm not gonna have a ton of space in the car. But I just feel like with the anthurium that I have, I just don't really need this one. But it's a fun one. It's not like a bad anthurium. I took it from her for a reason. I thought it was really cute. But yeah, with my sister wanting like a big anthurium, I think this would be a good one to give her. So again, I'm gonna stump this and bring this to her as well. It kind of sucks that like when I go to style the plants in her house, I'm not gonna be able to like see it in its full glory because I'm gonna be stumping so many of them down. Okay, who else? I think I'm gonna give her a Ripsalis. Like, I'm trying to think of some of the because okay, she's not as like picky as me. She kind of just wants plants that are gonna like complete a shelf look. So I think I'm gonna give her this one, and it looks crazy. This one is, I don't remember what the idea of this one is, but it's wild and it's getting so big and so long. And I just think that this is one that can like fill in space really well. I just don't think that I need it. I was actually even thinking of giving her my Ripsalis Paradoxa Minor, this one. I've loved it, but I don't know, I guess I don't love the growth pattern of it as much because of how it splays out. Do you see how it grows like this? Like, what are you doing? Like, look at it from underneath. It's wild. It doesn't just kind of like grow nice and like long, and it doesn't cascade as nicely. She's giving me a little bit of anxiety. My sister is gonna have way more space than me, and she doesn't have as many plants, and so I just think she'll be able to house that a lot better. I just don't know if I'm gonna regret it, you guys. What are we thinking? Okay, let's leave that for now, but it's definitely on my radar to give to her. I was kind of thinking of maybe giving her my Indo-Pappy hybrid too. It's grown really well for me. It has made a very good mother, but as my anthurium continue to grow, I think I need to let go of some of the ones that I don't like love, you know? And it's been really good. This has been so easy to care for in ambient, and I just think it's gonna be a good one for my sister to have. Oh my gosh, look at the damage on this new leaf. It is wild. Okay, I think it's time. I think I'm gonna give her this one too. Let's try and do maybe 2 or 3 more. I think I kind of have an idea already of who I wanna give her. Yeah, I think I'm good with these 2. So I do love this Hoya Thompsonii, but her last name is literally Thompson, and I think that she would really like this one. And then I'm gonna give her this little, I think this is like a tephro cactus or something. So these 2 will make a good addition. And now I have given her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants. And maybe 8, maybe this guy back here. This guy back here. And I haven't even gone through the ones in my plant room yet. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. I also propagated some variegated heteroecium to send her as well, or to give her as well. Before I start the time lapse, do I have any highlights I would like to show you? Maybe. Do y'all remember how much I used to struggle with the clarinervium? And now she's out here thriving. She's living her best life. Look at her. I think the clarinervium is one of the most amazing anthurium out there. You can't convince me otherwise. It is beautiful, and I don't know why it doesn't get more love, but I'm just so glad that it's growing well for me. It's been doing pretty okay in no drainage. The color of these roots kind of freak me out sometimes. It almost looks like it's rotting, but then it's like pushing out new growth, so it's clearly fine. So there's that one. And then my Sis's quad is getting humongous. I might actually, if she doesn't already have one of these, I think I'm gonna chop this for Katie. You know what, let me turn off my grow lights because it's not the vibe. I'm glad today is not like super gloomy and we have a little bit of natural light coming in. It's been really dark and stormy the last few days, so filming on a good day here. Oh, I'm gonna turn off that Soltec behind me. Oh, that's another plant I can probably highlight to you guys as well. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna chop this one for Katie if she doesn't already have it. I did say that I was gonna stop chopping this plant to let it get nice and big, but seriously, it's like we're good. We are good. She is large and in charge, and I can definitely afford to take some cuttings. So this one is gonna be chopped today. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna break some of these little arms. This one isn't like super impressive. It's actually very ugly right now, but I think I can see the potential for sure. I'm gonna have to check this guy for root rot because for as long as it's been in here, I should see more roots. Anyway, this is my Indo-Pappy hybrid, the one that I just showed you that I'm gonna give to my sister. This is an Indo-Pappy hybrid crossed with a forgetii, and it's actually turning out so cute. Look at how adorable this leaf is, and I love the venation on it. It's really cute, but it's like got this like weird freaking fungal-y thing going on. You know what? I think I might have over fertilized. That's what Alice said. So maybe I need to chill out on the fertilizer. And then another highlight, this was a clarinervium that Alice found when we went plant shopping one day. She was like, look at this, like it was so tiny. It was even smaller. No, actually, I think this was the original leaf. She was like, look at the venation on it. It's so cute. And yeah, it's really, really showing some fun features. It's just so veiny. It looks like lightning. It would be really fun to get this to flowering size so that I can pollinate it and wait 5 years for some berries. Okay, I think that's all of the highlights I'm gonna show you guys. I feel like I've shown you a lot of these plants in recent videos. Wasn't there something else I was gonna show you actually? Oh, my albo. My albo has gone full white, but I can see green in the stem still, so I think we're okay. So here's the lower leaves, and then, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to back up a bit. Oh, look at her. She is Gorgina George. I should make a Gorgina George shirt for my merch. Anyway, it's really nice while the white stays, but I do need to re-up on some silica on this plant. Is it doing anything? I don't know. Could be purely anecdotal, but you know what? It helps me sleep at night. This thing is actually super rooted into the pole. I didn't actually think the pole was doing anything, but I recently went to water it and was like, holy crap, there's so many roots in here. So I actually need to extend because it's outgrown the pole now, so maybe I'll go do that too. All right, guys, I'm gonna start the time lapse and I'm going to get the shelf gutted. I need to do a full clean and yeah, that's it, and go. I am pretty much done. So you can see we have a bunch of empty space down here, and that's because this time I tried to style the things like my cacti and stuff like this, my Hoya. I tried to actually mix them into the shelf rather than just having it down at the bottom. Oh my gosh, you can see in my messy bedroom. What I think I'm gonna do is actually bring some anthurium out from the plant room that are ready to live out here, because at least I'll be home for the next 3.5 weeks and I can kind of monitor them to see how they're doing. But I think some of them that I'm thinking of need to be upsized. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow and then move them out here. But for the most part, it's done, and definitely not looking as lush as it normally does. But again, I think I just need to give the anthurium space to grow because they keep hitting each other. I'm getting all of this cosmetic damage from the leaves brushing up against each other, so just gotta get used to it. Okay guys, final task of the day. Sorry, I didn't set up my light, so it's extremely dark, but I just wanna get this pole refilled, or I wanna get this pole filled and extended. So what I think I'm gonna do is, it's gonna get really messy. It's always messy. This is one thing I hate about climbing plants. I wish I was the kind of person that was good at just growing things on like a stick, because how much easier would that be? This is just a mixture of moss and tree fern fiber and pon, like all of my scraps basically. And once it outgrows this pole, I'm chopping. I'm not gonna have a pole that's longer than this. That's just crazy, I think. Or I might just say screw it and not add a pole at all. Just let it keep growing. Half of this is gonna end up on the floor. Y'all, if I don't get any fenestrations, like holes on this monstera by the time this outgrows this second pole, she's gone, she's out of here. I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that to her. She's so good to me. Okay, well anyway, that's done. You guys, I'm losing steam. My child is losing his shite. Tomorrow is gonna be way more chatty. I know it was mostly time-lapse today, but tomorrow we will spend some time together and get to know one another more. I am sorry for the terrible angle, but I gotta get going here. So it is Saturday. It's been a few days and I'm just heading out to run some errands before I go spend some time with family. Basically, I have to get some soil. I have said this in previous videos, but I'm not gonna call it a contribution because it's not a contribution. It's actually the opposite of that. But I don't love the fact that I use a peat-based soil. I don't like it. But I tell myself that if I can limit myself to 1 bag a year, it's not being excessive. I know that, you know, there are people who run through a few bags of soil with the amount of plants that I have. And so I kind of feel better that I am kind of stretching it for as long as it can go. So basically I'm gonna buy my bag for the year and it's gonna have to last me until December of next year. I'm hoping that they have the brand that I want. This is the one I'm looking for. It's the ProMix mycorrhizae soil and I really like it. It usually comes in a bale, like this condensed bale, and it's really light, but lately they've only had it in like these soil bags, and for whatever reason there's always holes in them and they're soaking wet. Last time I couldn't even lift the bag. I had to ask an employee to put it in my cart and bring it to my car because it was so heavy. So hopefully they have the bales. If not, I might have some trouble getting this thing into my car. And also there was so much soil that spilled out last time into my car, so that wasn't fun. But yeah, gonna go find some soil, and then I think I'm gonna stop by the garden center, like this plant shop called Garden Works here. There's nothing that has come out recently that I want, but I don't know, it's kind of fun sometimes to just peruse and see. Usually if I go plant shopping now, it's usually to find an alocasia. So we'll see. It's just down the street from where I have to go anyway. And then I need to stop by Alice's really quick to pick up a bunch of plants from her because she's doing some plant trades in the States. She's gifting some plants to friends in the States. And I'm gonna be sending everything out for her when I go back home in a few weeks. So I just need to go grab those from her before she leaves for the UK in a few days. And yeah, I'm actually gonna be watering her plants while she's away too. That's not gonna be in this week of, but just mentioning it. Anyway, so let's go see if they have soil. Hopefully you can't hear the music in the background because I don't wanna get copyright stricken. But I don't know if you guys heard, but I think they're discontinuing Safer's End All, so I'm gonna get one. Is my mic on? But I can't reach it. It's right there. So you have to get creative when you're small. Fly swatter. Stay. Okay, so I grabbed my soil and it's like a 40-liter bag. I was trying to lift it. It was really heavy, and so I asked the girl behind the counter, I was like, can you, would it be okay if you asked someone to help me bring this bag of soil to my car? And she's like, oh yeah, which bag is it? And I was like, oh, it's the 40-liter. And then she like walks away, and I'm thinking she's gonna go get someone, and she just like lifts it and just like throws it over her shoulder, and she's like my size. I think I actually might have been bigger than her. And then she just like treks it to my car, and I was like, okay, this is wildly, wildly embarrassing. But anyway, she was a gangster. So I'm gonna head to Alice's house. I'm not gonna film there because we're literally just doing a pass off really quick. I do have some family stuff today. So I'm probably not gonna be filming anymore, but tomorrow we are going to head right into the repots. Weird angle, weird angle. But there's actually one more thing I need to do, but first, I just restocked on the best leca in the world. This is the leca that I'm using, and you guys, it is superior. The fact that I can even lift this entire bag shows you how lightweight it actually is. This bag is $50 before tax. It's quite expensive, but this entire bag is gonna last me, I hope for another year. And obviously you can keep reusing it, so it's more sustainable than something like soil. Anyway, I am going to give a plant to my sister-in-law, and I'm actually going to her house in just a bit. Let me show you what it is. This is what I'm giving her. I'm giving her my large form monstera. She hasn't had the best luck with monsteras in the past. She always gets thrips, but this monstera specifically, one, has never had thrips and just has never had pests. I don't know why. You know, every monstera that I've owned has had something. I've had mealybugs, I've had scale, thrips, spider mites, and everything. But for whatever reason, pests do not like this monstera. So since I got my Sierrana, I want that to be my main focus, and I have my albo, I'm going to gift her this. She has a nice, big, beautiful house with windows, and I just think that it's gonna get so much more love there. The only thing is it's in leca right now, and I don't know if she's familiar with growing in this substrate, and I just don't know if she's gonna feel comfortable with it, and so I'm kind of thinking maybe I move it to soil. I don't have a lot of time, and I have one pot that I could use that I was actually gonna get rid of. Oh my god, oh my god. I wonder if I can try to do this quickly, but I don't know. I don't really want to get it on a pole. It's a large form, so she's gonna size up no matter what. I have tried giving her a pole before, didn't really use it. So maybe not. And I'm thinking, okay, I have to clean up in here anyway, so I'm gonna just take this out. I have this pot here. This is from Target as a self-watering pot, and it's really pretty. It's this really pretty like olive color, but I don't really have any use for it, and I don't know, I don't love using these pots that have like the reservoir in here because I don't know, I always end up over watering and it just comes spilling out the pot. So I'm just gonna give that to her, so at least it'll look presentable. So what I'm gonna do is just use the rest of the soil that I have left, but I'm gonna do leca down at the bottom. So let me just show you what I'm actually doing. I have to do this super, super fast. So I'm literally just gonna pull this out. There is a bit of root rot, but it looks like those are like some of the older roots. Oh my gosh. Balls everywhere, balls flying. And I lost some, but you know, she'll live. Okay, and then I'm gonna pour some of this into here. Get it cleaned up a little bit, although it's been living just fine, cohabitating with the roots that are no longer with us. Oh, this whole thing is not good. For the most part, it's fine. It was just the ones over at the top that were kind of mushing. But I feel like I shouldn't really worry too much about the rest. I'm not surprised that there's some root loss because I transitioned this one from soil to leca, and so there's bound to be a little bit of shock on the plant. And now that we're going from leca to soil, I hope that we're not gonna have like even more shock and doesn't start like dropping leaves like crazy, but we will see. I mean, there's still leca down at the bottom. I'm gonna just like I'm gonna lean it like that because it doesn't have a pole. I'm gonna have to use all of the soil that's left in my bin, and I actually don't even know if it's gonna be enough. Unfortunately, I do not have time to mix more soil, but I am gonna maybe just top it with this soil tree fern fiber moss mix that I've been kind of mixing into my moss poles. And I'll just use this as a topper, I think. It's not the best solution, but maybe like next summer I'll give this a proper repot, maybe a pole depending how well it's growing. But this should be fine. It's got lots of leca in there, lots of soil. Hopefully she likes it. I do know she likes monsteras, but again, just kind of has always been plagued by thrips. And while I'm at her house, I'm probably gonna do some pest stuff on her other plants. Every time I go there, I try and apply a little bit of systemics to her plants and fertilize them and stuff. So there's that. I'm just wondering how the heck I'm gonna transport this, because we're picking up my mother-in-law and she has to have her walker in the car. But, oh, let me change the camera view. I need to eat something before I go. I'm gonna pass away. Okay, so you guys can see, like, I actually just have it leaning so that it doesn't need a pole to kind of stand upright and fall over, or it doesn't fall over. It actually has a new leaf on the way, and I'm hoping that it stays safe in the car. Also, Barina was so kind in sending me some lights for the holidays. It's the black ones. Unfortunately, they sent the pinkish white color, the light color, and I use like the yellow, warm yellow color. So I am not gonna sell these. I'm gonna probably just gift it to someone in our plant group, someone that might need it and maybe can't afford it right now, but yeah, I'll just give them away. Pass it forward. What's the word? Give it forward? Give it forward. That doesn't sound right. Give it forward. Give it forward. I don't know. Anyway, that's it from me today. I will see you guys tomorrow. It has been a long day of editing and being behind a computer and being a mother, and I'm ready to, that went in by the way, I'm ready to just spend some time with my plants. Unfortunately, it is only 2 hours until Archie's bedtime, so I don't have a ton of time to work with, but I can at least get some stuff done. The thing I want to handle first are all of the plants that are going to my sister. Not all of them, like my micans, I'm gonna take as is. It's in pond, it's in a glass vessel. That is the one exception I'm gonna make because I do not want to deal with repotting the micans when I get to California. My hope is that I just curl it up and then stick it in the box and it'll be done. But everything else that I have to repot, or everything else that I'm giving her, are in glass vessels too. And this part might hurt some of you, but I'm going to be stumping a lot of them, and I'm really hoping that a new leaf doesn't come out until I'm already gonna go to California. Just because I have plants that I'm taking to the States for Alice, for my mom, for my sister, and I just don't have a ton of space. So I really have to try and make these plants as small as possible. So what I'm gonna start with is just basically plucking them all out of their vessels, and I'm thinking if I want to bring them over in leca, perlite, or soil. I know my sister has experience growing with leca, but I don't know if that's gonna be her long-term substrate. So I don't know. I guess let's just get it out of here and see how these roots look first. The first one I'm gonna start with, okay, these lights are just not giving or serving at the moment. Okay, so it's a little bit better. I think I'm gonna start with this forgetii looking hybrid. And like I said, do not look if you are squeamish with chopping leaves off, but I'm not gonna be taking this plant to California like this. And it'll grow back, and it'll grow back even more beautiful, so have no fear. Whew. There's a part of me that's like sad to see some of these plants go, like my Indo-Pappy hybrid I've had for so long, but at the same time it's like it's going to my sister. You know, I know that the new plant in her new place is gonna make her very happy. I'll be able to see it all the time. If I ever want a cutting back, I'll know where to go. This stem is super long. I don't think I'm gonna be taking any cuttings of this to like sell or anything. So, oh my gosh, guys, this stem is like this long. It's so long. Should I do no, honestly, I should probably just do leca. I just bought this big old bag of leca, although I was hoping this would last me all of next year. And I told my sister, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be repotting a bunch of your plants in leca. Like I sent her the link to this Grow It leca. She was like, $50. She's like, pass, not happening. Anyway, stem is super, super long. I don't think I'm gonna chop it. I think I'm just gonna leave it and just let her live her best stick life, you know? I just love peeling these sheaths off. It's just the best ever. Yeah, I'm not gonna take any cuttings of these because it's just gonna be propagation space that is wasted. I don't think anyone's gonna wanna buy a cutting of this, so I will just leave it. But I kinda wanna like trim some roots off since like all the leaves have been chopped off. Should be fine. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna root trim a bit. I think, or I wonder if I should take a propagation for my neighbor who has been wanting an anthurium, but she wanted like a big anthurium. I would give her the Indo-Pappy hybrid, but she was looking for something like a clarinerium, so I don't think this is something she'd even really be interested in. Okay, I'm gonna just start hacking some of these bottom roots off, and I'll keep the newer ones on top. And then I brought out all of my cups that I've been saving over the years because I think I'm just gonna transport them in plastic cups. I want something light and disposable. I don't know if my sister's gonna have enough cover pots, but if she doesn't, I can always go buy a few for her. Do I want to chop off more roots? I don't know. I want it to fit in one of these cups, so maybe I'll just chop off more. I'll leave like these top ones, and then I'll chop off the rest. Okay. It feels painful, but it's fine. Anyway, did you guys buy anything for Black Friday? I have not legitimately like shopped for Black Friday in so long, just because I feel like the deals just aren't what they used to be. And like Black Friday shopping on Amazon is not really Black Friday shopping. A lot of the sellers on Black Friday, they'll like jack the price up and then give you a sale price, which is just their normal price, or just like $1 or something under what their normal price is, but then they make you feel like you're getting a hell of a deal when really you're not. That should not be allowed. I feel like sellers shouldn't be allowed to change their prices within like a month of a Black Friday sale. Like if you want to include a sale, or if you want to include a product in like an Amazon-wide Black Friday sale, that price had to have been untouched for 2 months before. Otherwise, I don't know, it's just icky. So like I haven't done any Amazon Black Friday shopping, Best Buy, nothing. The only thing that I can think of that I really want that I've been holding off on is a dry wet mop. I was hoping to get the Tineco, but it's just so expensive, and I've read so many mixed reviews that I just feel like there's like an off-brand out there that performs just as well for a fraction of the price. I just can't, it's not that I can't justify spending that much money on it, because I do spend a lot of my time cleaning my floors, and it would be nice to kind of do both at once. Plus, I've used my mom's Tineco, how do you guys say it? And it works really well, honestly, it does. But again, I just don't know if I can justify it. I have plant tags here since everything is gonna be stripped. I wanna make sure I know who everybody is. Ugh. I hate when your hands feel like chalky. You know when you touch like dry pond and then your hands feel like you were just like holding chalk? Ooh, it's yucky. I'm gonna see if any more questions came in, because there's something I wanted to chat about during this repot and chat part of week of. And I wanted to answer some questions. Some of you guys might not know this about me, but I actually own a business. That was what I was doing before I got into YouTube. It's called Free Pancakes, a children's brand, and I make supplementary, I can't even say it. I make supplementary curriculum and activities for homeschool families, typically from like preschool up to like, I would say 2nd grade. And it was something that I love. It's something I really love, and it was extremely fulfilling. It was so much fun. It was very creatively stimulating, kept me busy, kept me on my toes, and I just really enjoyed it. But I kind of stepped away from, I mean, it's still up and running. It's purely digital, so everything just gets emailed to them. The only thing that I really do for the business now is bookkeeping, answering emails, answering any customer concerns, and then doing custom worksheets for families, but that's really it. So it's a very hands-off business. It kind of just runs itself at this point, which is amazing. It could be doing better if I just continued to make activities if I went back on Instagram and promoted more and just did more stuff for the business. Right now I'm kind of just like letting it ride. This is like the worst leca job ever, but I'm not trying to use hella leca. I just need enough leca to get it there and keep it alive for the next 3 weeks. I think that's good. It's not great, but it'll do. Okay, I feel like these tags are gonna come off. Okay, what was I saying? Oh my gosh, that's what happens when I stop talking. Oh, that was one. Okay, good. One down. Next one is my Indo-Pappy hybrid. It is very, very sad to see this one be chopped because the leaves actually look decent. They're nice and big, but yeah, it's just gotta go. It's gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My sister really, really likes this one. I sent her a picture of it and she's super excited to get it. And this one grows so fast that I'm pretty sure a new leaf is gonna pop by the time I go. Okay, and of course it is trying to do the nasty again. This plant loves being a mother. It loves getting pregnant. Okay, so like I was saying, yeah, I could just be doing so much more for it. Like it would be generating so much more revenue if I was as active on it as I used to be before YouTube. But I kind of stepped away a bit from the socials and from doing the day-to-day because I just feel like I don't really belong in that world. Not the way that I feel like I belong in the plant community, like engaging on Instagram and making Instagram friends. I feel like it's more me, whereas when I'm in the homeschool world on Instagram and on socials, I feel like I have to be this fake version of myself and it's never felt right. I almost feel like I'm trying to trick these people into thinking I'm someone that I'm not, and I just didn't like it. And so yeah, I stepped away for a bit. I kind of lost creative steam because there was a competitive business and there was a little bit of copying going on and just this weird tension, and I just did not like it. And I kind of felt like because she was in the community before me, that people thought that like I automatically was copying her, when if you look back at socials, if you look back at when things were released, it's so obvious, like mine came out way first. Like I remember when I went through like a rebranding in, I wanna say it was like 2020, she completely rebranded too, and it was like very similar, like same kind of logo, same colors, and I just had it and I was like, I don't want to be doing this right now. Like this is so annoying. And the stuff that I was creating, like there would be similarities, and she had such a massive following, or has such a massive following. I just felt like I was creating all of this stuff for nothing. And yeah, I felt defeated, and just stepping away from it was the right thing that I needed to do. So stepped away from that, and I kind of got more into plants and like focusing more on plant content creation. And it was a way for me to sort of release that creative energy that I needed to. Oh, so dusty. Oh, sorry, I touched the mic. But I miss it. Like I miss being in the thick of my business. I miss doing what I feel like I'm really good at. And the work that I was doing was really fulfilling too. And I was telling my sister, like, I want to get back into it, but I think that I need help. Like, it's a lot of work to do on your own. Like just making making the curriculum, making the activities alone is so time consuming, mentally draining. It requires so much editing and proofing and back and forth. It's just very, very involved, and that takes up a lot of my time. And I'm not only creating like activities, but I'm illustrating and I'm drawing, and things just take so much time. And so I told her, I'm like, I just feel like I need help with one, content creation, being on Instagram, marketing, thinking of activity ideas. And I told my sister, I was like, if you know, you'd be willing to do this with me, like I think that we could get it back up and running and like do it really well. So she was like, yeah, obviously that's a no-brainer. So she's gonna be helping me. And oh my gosh, this soil is so old. I can't even remember the last time that I repotted this, because this is my mix when I was still putting chopped up sphagnum moss in it, which was like in 2022. That was a long time ago. So yeah, this one needed a repot a long time ago. Okay, I'm gonna have to chop off, well, here's the thing. I chopped off most of the roots, so I think this should just be able to fit in here just fine if I curl it up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, she's gonna be helping me out. We're gonna get things like relaunched. I wanna do the rebrand because I don't wanna look like that other business. And I was thinking like there's no way that I can do both at the same time. I should probably clean these roots off, but I'm not gonna bother. There's a chance that I might pop some of these back into soil once it's at my sister's house. It just depends what she has. But at least this leca is super, super light. Ew, that's my hair. Gross. And when I go to California, I'm just gonna like top these up with polyfill and tape them so that nothing spills. Whoa. So yeah, I was thinking that it's gonna be really hard to do YouTube as much as I'm doing it now and getting back into the business full time. And so I was like, do I even want to be on YouTube anymore? Like, do I just call it quits, you know? Do I just do it part-time? Do I go back down to like one video a month? Like, I don't know what that's gonna look like, because I can't do both. I can do both, but I cannot do both full-time, obviously. I don't think anyone can work 2 full-time jobs, actually. So it's kind of sad to think about not being on YouTube anymore, especially because it's been so fun. I've made so many good friends on here. I've gotten so much out of being on YouTube. I feel like I've turned into a different person because of YouTube. And so I don't think I will get out of it completely, at least not now, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about sort of like a 5-year plan and doing a job again where I don't have to be front facing. I don't have to rely on content creation. It's stressful in a very obviously, I chose violence. It's stressful in a, what word am I thinking of? What is that? When you have it good, like you are in no place to complain. You are privileged in a privileged way. It's very stressful in a privileged way. But again, I'm just thinking long term, a 5-year plan. Like, do I still see myself hustling on YouTube, or am I gonna be going back to basically, running Free Pancakes full time? So it got me sort of thinking about like the good and bad parts of being online. And I feel like with being on YouTube, it's a spectrum of like the lows being really, really low and the highs being super, super high. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't really feel like I am in the middle all the time. I always feel like I'm being thrown from the lows to the highs, and sometimes I'm like, can I just be right in the middle? Yeah, so I was thinking about like all the things that I love about YouTube and all the things that I don't love about YouTube. And so I just opened my question box and like wanted to know the questions that you guys had regarding being on YouTube and social media in general. So yeah, I'm going to start answering all of those and talking about social media, I guess. They're not going to be in any particular order. I'm just going to answer the one that I can see up at the top first. So it says, if you could restart and go all the way back to your first video, what would you do differently, video to vid? I think that means basically just like, what would I do differently? Like starting from like the beginning of my YouTube channel. So obviously wait, let me grab one more plant. So obviously when I first started my channel, I was headless, and that's because I had mad anxiety about showing my face. And I don't think I would do that differently, because I don't think that I would have even been able to start my channel if I couldn't do it headless. It just, the anxiety would have prevented me from ever even filming a video. So I don't regret that. I think what I would have done though from the beginning is maybe not have Pudge as like sort of a main focus of the channel. If you guys if you go back to a lot of my early videos, you'll know that I worked Pudge into the intros like crazy. He was always there throughout the videos. He was just a big part of it. And a lot of people like got attached to him. A lot of people loved that about him, or loved that about the channel. They loved seeing him and having him be a part of it. But, you know, like with anything, you're gonna have people that come at you for having whatever kind of dog. And I defended myself up to a certain point, but then it just got really sort of old, and some of the comments started getting really sort of dark. Like, I think the comment that set me over was when they were just like, you're better off like euthanizing your dog, like you're torturing him by just letting him be alive. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And so I just stopped really including him on the channel, because I just like did not want people thinking that of him. I didn't even want those thoughts being like said into the universe. It just like, honestly, it really pissed me off. Like, I can take a lot of the bullying about me, about the way I do plants, like that's nothing. That's like a drop in the sand. But when it comes to Pudge, I'm like, don't talk about my dog. Don't talk about my dog. And so yeah, I just like kind of removed him slowly from the channel. So I get a lot of people still that are like, I wish you would include Pudge more, like show Pudge, like how come you never show him anymore? And like, I really appreciate that you guys love him and that you want to see him, but just for my own like sanity, I can't do it. So I'll like have him every once in a while. He'll make a little cameo, but he's definitely not a part of it like he used to be. And unfortunately, I'm gonna keep it that way until the end of this channel. So yeah, that's one thing that I wish I had done differently. I wouldn't have him be such a huge part of it. This thing is so big. I could probably afford to like leave some. Should I? I feel like she doesn't need one this big. That's what she said. Maybe I'll do like half of it. The next question is the best and worst things about having a plant channel. I think this is a good way to kind of open the conversation, really, because it's like when I was thinking about not doing YouTube anymore, I'm like, but there's so many good things that I like about it, but there's also some bad things. I would say that one of the best things about doing YouTube is definitely the impact that you can potentially make. I never actually thought about this in the beginning. It's not something that I actively was like this is what I'm hoping that I do. You know, I actually it never even occurred to me that this would be an outcome of my channel, but it like helping a lot of people with their mental health and making them feel not so alone. I think that like getting messages like that where it's saying that, you know, I was like going through the worst time of my life and your videos were like the only thing that got me out of bed, like those kinds of messages, they are just, I can't even tell you like how emotional it makes me, and I'm not a very emotional person. And that's because like, and it's weird that I didn't think about this, because I definitely have YouTubers that I watch religiously, that I watch because it significantly improves my mental health, my happiness, my serotonin levels, like, and I'm like, yeah, like obviously if someone else does that for me, like why couldn't I be the same for other people too? And so to know that that's actually like, it's happened, and you know, they take the time to like tell me these things, it's just really special. And so that is a definite high. I think another thing is that it just like, it honestly keeps me excited about plants. I thought that it would be the opposite, like doing plant YouTube would like burn me out on plants, and I like wouldn't want to do plant care anymore, and like it would just feel like a chore. But it's been the opposite. Like every time I get a new plant, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell them. Or if like there's a new plant that I come across that I feel like you guys are gonna love, I'm like, I need to film this right now. And so it's almost like the feeling of, you know, when you have a partner and something exciting happens or something crazy happens, and you're just like, you immediately like want to text them, or you can't wait to get home and like tell them all the hot gossip or something. Like it's kind of that same feeling that I get with you guys, where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to, you know, get this on YouTube and like see what they think and whatever, like share this with them. This one is giving me the ick. You're out of here. You're done. So this is the one I'm gonna bring to my sister. It's way more manageable. That was not okay. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with the rest of that. I don't know if anyone will even want it. I might just honestly chuck it out. We'll see. Another good part about doing YouTube is that I am very bored easily, and I need to do things that stimulate me creatively all the time. I have been historically one of those people that like pick up a hobby and then I drop it and then I pick it up and drop it. Like I've done clay making, I've done painting, I've done crochet, I've done, what else have I done? I can't think right now of all of the other things that I thought were gonna be a hobby, and then I did it for like 2 weeks and then I was over it. Plants was like the one thing that stuck, which thank goodness, because I'm in too deep now. There's no going back. Okay, next one is this philodendron El Guapo. I am going to chop these leaves off because they are large and in charge. So yeah, it keeps me stimulated creatively. I actually enjoy the filming and editing process when I'm not like forced to do it, if I'm not on like a time crunch. It's relaxing. It's like I would be doing this stuff anyway, but then I get to like chat with you guys and talk about things that I normally wouldn't be able to talk to like Vince about it or something. So yeah, it's just like a way to sort of stay in touch and kind of feel connected to other people that love the same thing that I do. I also think it's just really cool that like some of the stuff that's worked for me is actually like helping you guys, and it just feels really nice to be a part of somebody's hobby and like journey that way, or to make them feel like they do belong in this hobby because they feel like they have support and that they're doing things right, whatever that might mean. But you know, there are obviously bad things about doing YouTube too. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos about how mean people can be on social media. And when I got into YouTube, I knew that not everyone was gonna like me. I knew that. I knew that there would be things that I did plant related that would probably confuse people, that would tick people off, that would turn them off from ever wanting to watch my channel, and I was okay with that. But in the beginning, I was not prepared for the absolute vitriol that would come from people, and the fact that they would go as far as to attack you as a person to make sure that they get their point across. It's kind of just made, well, not YouTube in general. I feel like I've been the recent political events that have happened in the United States of America have really, to me, shown how ugly people can be. And YouTube is another way that I have seen the really, really, really ugly side of people. I've had the most ridiculous, crazy things said to me. I've highlighted some of them on an Instagram highlight. If you're interested in looking at it, it's called YouTube Fans. And yeah, just over the years, just the craziest things and accusations. Like, I think one of the craziest things that someone has called me is a drug addict, because I'm on antidepressants. I'm a drug addict that's mooching off you poor American taxpayers. Unfortunately, I am a poor American taxpayer as well, and I pay taxes in Canada too. So double whammy over here. But yeah, it's just weird. Like I was not prepared for that kind of hate, and it took a long time to get used to. I think I always kind of put on a brave face online because I didn't want people to have the satisfaction of knowing that they got to me. And I'm a very prideful person that way. But after a while, I put on that face so hard that it actually just became real. And now there's really not much that you could say to me that would hurt my feelings. And I do think that that's like a good part of YouTube. Like I said, like it's made me such a different person. I feel more confident. I feel more sure of myself. I feel more, what's the word? Like just comfortable with myself. Is that what I'm trying to say? So yeah, there's good and bad. I think one of the weirdest things was like in the first time that maybe I got like recognized in public, because you don't really expect it, right? Because we're in such a niche market. Like I would never think like, oh, I'm gonna go get Starbucks today and somebody is gonna notice me. But that's exactly what happened. And it happened on a day where I was on my period and I was feeling so crappy. And Vince was like, we should just get out of the house. You should get some sunshine, because it was one of those days where it was really cold, but the sun was out. So he's like, let's go to the mall. You should go buy yourself something. Let's go get some Starbs. And that's what we did. I went there with no makeup. I was in my sweat. I looked like garbage. And of course, that's the day that somebody recognized me at Starbucks. And I had my mask on, but she recognized me from my tattoo on my arm. So, yeah. And it wasn't this tattoo. It was the arrow that I covered on my arm. And like she asked to take a picture and stuff. Obviously I did, because I didn't want to be like a biatch, you know. Like I really was happy to meet her. It just caught me off guard, and I just feel like I was not prepared and I looked like crap. But I've gotten more used to it. Granted, I only get recognized like at plant stores, plant events, stuff like that. It's not like I'm just going to, you know, Target and people are like, oh my God, Sherman. No, it's not like that at all. I am but again, a drop in the sand. That's another, I guess, pretty cool part, is like meeting some of you guys in person and just like seeing how nice you guys are in real life too. Like I get some like terrible comments, but there's so many more nice comments that come in on honestly a daily basis. And the ratio of mean to nice comments, it's not even a question. It's not a competition. It's easily like, it's no question. So, you know, it's just sometimes like the bad tends to punch a little harder, you know, it tends to sting more, but you get used to it sometimes. Not sometimes, I mean, some people get used to it. I feel like you have to have the right sort of personality to be able to sort of accept that the comments are going to come in, because that's just part of social media. Am I the kind of person that leaves mean comments on people that I don't like? No. No matter how much someone annoys me, I will never go on their socials and leave a bad comment. Like, that's just mean. It's just weird. It's just so much easier to scroll on and be on to the next thing, but some people just can't help themselves. So I'll say that if you already sort of like struggle with your mental health and you're not really good at the whole, what is that called? I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you or something like that. If you're not good at that, it's probably not for you, just because, yeah, people can be really, really mean, and that's just me being honest. I wish I could say that it's easy to shrug off and that anybody could just get online and start making content and being on YouTube, but it's really not. It's not for everyone. But you know, listen, here's the thing. There's someone like Alice who, I'm not gonna say we're alike, we're actually very different. Me and Alice don't really have anything in common besides plants. We get along fine, we're very good friends, but yeah, we don't really have anything in common. But we have the same sort of, like, I guess, humor, and not so much the same personality. We actually have very different personalities, but we sort of, in a like weird way, like opposites attract, get along. But I'm saying all of this because we make the same kind of content, same long form content, and she does not really get mean comments. She really doesn't. And I get them all the time. And of course, I'm way more spicy than her. I would say outspoken and like just spicy in general. Like, she's very, very mild, and she's like that in real life too. She's not like a firecracker. She's kind of just like, it's okay, like everything's fine, you know, whereas I have more of an attitude. I complain a lot. I talk about stuff that maybe I shouldn't talk about on socials, but I do it. So that's probably why. But people that get me, and that's really all I can ask for at this point. Okay, so I think that's all of the stuff that I am gonna be chopping for my sister today. And I do want to get some things maybe not repotted. I don't think I'm gonna do like my own repots today, but I want to start taking propagations of the plants that I'm gonna be bringing to California for trades, because I want to start the rooting process. I know it's not going to root in 3 weeks. It might, you never know, but I want to at least get a good head start. So I'm going to start grabbing those plants. I'm going to clear these out and kind of like reset, because it is a mess. Okie dokie. Before I get to chopping, I want to show you my latest project that seems to be going pretty well so far. So, ooh. You can see it's got an inflow, and it actually has turned all yellow, and it is slightly puffy. Like, it looks like it's like gotten a little fat, and I'm hoping it took. So this is my Carla Bevep. So beautiful. This one is from Bunny. It's a bunny plant, and I pollinated it with my Forgetii Carla that doesn't look the greatest, but has great genes, and is another one of my favorites in my collection. So I'm not gonna be chopping this one because obviously we've got this one going on, but I just wanted to show it to you at least. But I just actually repotted this not long ago, and I really don't feel great about repotting it again because, one, it's pushing out another inflow, it's pushing out another leaf, and I just did this. And I'm kind of scared of sending it into shock, but I don't see any new roots yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it because Dania has expressed interest in this plant. And you guys, the plant that she is trading me, she can have anything. She can have anything. She can have a limb at this point. Nothing is too much. Oh, I do see a new root. Okay. I just don't know if it's choppable is the thing. I'm not super worried about like stunting the growth or even like preventing this inflow from coming out, because I don't know, it's whatever. But I just don't want this thing to rot completely. I don't want to be left with a stem that's so small that I end up losing this plant completely. But actually the stem is quite long, and so I'll be able to take a few cuttings. I'm hoping that I can get one that maybe has like at least like an aerial root started or something. And I want to get her a decent cut. I'm not trying to give her like a, what was I calling them? Like the haw flake size cutting. I want to do one that's like pretty decent, you know, so that she has enough stem to work with in case there's any rot. Maybe she can get a few growth points out of this, but I want to be pretty generous. Okay, so there's one. Where did it go? Where's my cutting? Where's my cut? Oh, here. This little turd nugget. Okay, so yeah, this is why I wanted to cut now, because I wanted to get some growth started. But I would say this is a pretty decent cutting. There's probably at least 2 or 3 nodes on here for sure. Maybe I'll get this cleaned up for her, like do a little bit of scraping, and I'll maybe soak it in some hydrogen peroxide just to get it clean. I want to give her a clean chunk. And now that this is unpotted, I sort of want to take another cutting if I can, but I don't know. I don't want to, kind of don't want the top to lose any more roots. So I can't think of anyone that I would trade this with. I do want to send something to some friends, but it just doesn't look big enough. And I don't want to like send them a cutting that's just gonna rot. No, I don't want to risk it. All right, I think I'm gonna just put it back in that same pot that it was in. I upsized a lot, you guys. This is huge, but it's okay. And now that I have leca, I can put some leca down at the bottom. Okay, let's answer another question. Oh, my booty was on it. Thoughts on the plant influencer world being too full? Is there room for new faces? Nose is itchy. Honestly, if you want to know the tea, I'm just kidding. There's no tea. I feel like there is space for everyone. I feel like there is a decent amount of competitiveness in the plant world. There's some, you know, there's some shystiness and stuff, but in terms of like plant YouTubing, yes, there are a lot of us out here already as it is, but I don't think I'd go as far as to say like there's no room for any more, just because I think that everyone will have something to contribute. Yeah, we're all kind of doing the same thing. We're doing the repotting chats, we're doing the plant chores, we're doing the plant hauls. It's really all the same thing, but you go to each person's channel, one, for maybe the genus of plant that they like to feature a lot. I know a lot of people go to Alice for anthurium content. You know, people watch Fern for begonia stuff. People watch Benji for everything because he's perfect. He's a perfect angel. But yeah, everyone kind of has like something to contribute, I think. And there are literally millions of us out there, like millions. And we're all going to kind of connect with other people in a different way, whether it because we're the same ethnicity or we had the same upbringing, or maybe you're queer and you want to watch other queer influencers. There are people who watch me solely because I'm Filipino. Like, you know, you're gonna have those things that you not nitpick, but that you go to that channel for, whether it's their humor or their knowledge or the way that they make content like relaxes you and like takes you away from the problems in your life. Like, I just feel like there's enough room. There really is. The way that I make content, it's not gonna be for everyone, especially like me out here making freaking 3-hour-long videos. There are probably some people who, there's someone, what was it, last year? They commented on my 3-hour-long week of, they were like, 3 hours? Hell no. And like, I get it. It's just, you know, everyone has what they want to watch on any given day. And for me, it's like, I one day will like just binge watch one content creator, and then the next day I don't want to watch any like plant content at all, and I only want to watch makeup videos. Believe it or not, I really like makeup videos. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I like watching people put on makeup. I like watching them review makeup. Like Manny MUA is one of my like all-time favorites. Like whenever he posts a new video, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna be watching it. And it's not because we are very similar. It's not because the way he does makeup is like how I want to do makeup. I just like his personality. He makes me laugh. He cheers me up, and that's why I watch him. Whereas I would watch someone like Tati because she does like actual good in-depth reviews, and like if I really am looking for new like drugstore makeup, like I want someone that I can rely on and that I can go to for that kind of content, you know? So same thing with the plant world. It's like, again, we all have something that we can contribute and give one another. Will I be watching every single new plant content creator out there? Hell no. I already don't watch a lot of plant YouTube as it is, and with so many new channels like popping up left and right, it's just not gonna happen. And for me, it's hard for me to get into new creators because I just stick with what I know. I like what I like, and it's really hard for me to kind of jump in and get acquainted with someone new. Like, just start. It's kind of like going to the gym. The hardest part is going, right? But once you're there, you're like, oh, this isn't bad. Like, I could stay here forever. It's kind of that same concept with me. It's like starting to watch. I'm like, I don't know. It seems too much to try and like get to know someone from scratch. So yeah, it's watching plant YouTube all day. It's not for me. It's very unlikely that I would probably pick up watching a lot of other new plant YouTubers, and it's not because of jealousy. It's not because of competitiveness or hate. It's just, I just like what I like, and I only consume X amount of plant content every single day. So, but you know, I think if you can like be somewhat original and not try and copy some, like other people. But yeah, no tea here. No tea, no shade. Talking about tea though, someone asked if I've ever been in plant drama. I'm not gonna say no, because that wouldn't be true. But at the same time, I don't want to say too much that's gonna like give it away and then people go like digging up stuff. But let's just say that there was a time where things got a little weird between me and another content creator, and I'm not gonna say why, because again, I don't want you guys digging, because you guys are freaking smart. Some of you guys are sleuths for real. All the roots are at the bottom on this Brielle. The roots basically stop right here. So this entire plant is not gonna have a root system once I chop it, because I'm chopping it for Dania and I'm chopping it for Alice. This is what happens when you don't upsize fast enough. This whole stem was exposed to the elements for so long. This is no one's fault but my own. I should have at least done like a pot extender or something. Okay, but you know what? It's all gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine. I honestly think I'm just gonna stick this in water. I might lose some leaves, if not all of them, but it's okay. Leaves come and go. I wanna do this trade and I'm determined. So it's got quite a stem. I'm gonna literally chop it up here. And I'm gonna stick this in water and we are gonna pray to the plant gods that I can get, oh my gosh, I actually can't even stick it in water because these leaves are like facing down. Look, I can't stick it in water. Guys, this is actually gonna be painful. This is actually gonna be painful. I really don't wanna do this, but I think I need to chop off these lower leaves. At least these two on the side. Don't look. Don't look. It's so bad. It's gonna be bad. Okay. Sorry. Can I at least get this in water? I'm like, how much do I actually have to chop off? See, look, this is what I mean. How am I gonna stick it in water? It's for the trade. It's for the trade. It's gonna be okay. 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 Okay, 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 okay. You know what? Less leaves. The less leaves there are, the more it can focus on new roots. Oh God, that was painful. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one bit. Nope. Don't want to do that again. Okay, this is what she looks like now. She's a single leaf, but I've got a chonker. We don't need this many roots though. So I'm gonna take one cutting for Dania and I'm gonna take one cutting for Alice. I wanna make sure both cuttings have roots. So I'm just gonna slice this. I think I'll do this for the top. What was I talking about? Other YouTubers? Oh, drama. Yeah. There was tension between me and another content creator, and it was this very passive aggressive, using her stories to come at me in a very indirect way that was very obvious that she was talking about me. But the whole thing was really weird, and it just made me realize that I just did not like the kind of person she was. And so I unfollowed her, and then people noticed that I unfollowed her because, again, the stories that she was posting, it was like so obvious. Like if you follow the both of us, like you know that she was talking about me. Anyway, I ended up unfollowing her because she was like legitimately just being kind of annoying. And I just didn't want that energy. It wasn't vibing. It wasn't the vibes, you know? You attract the energy you keep, and did not want that energy. So we didn't keep that. We did not keep that. But that's really the only like plant drama I've been in. I really try and like mind my damn business. Keep my nose out of things. You know, if there's like drama, I'll kind of like peek in, see what the tea is. But if people ask me like, oh, what are your thoughts on? I'm like, nope, don't even drag me into this. I don't want none of that. Honestly, guys, I'm just too old for drama. I had so much drama in high school and middle school that I'm like, dude, I'm geriatric now. I'm too damn old to be having drama. So yeah, I'd like to keep it that way if possible. That's a good root system for this little guy. And then this one has already a decent root system. I think I'll leave that as it is because it fits in a cup. And then leave this. I'm gonna keep this one because this one has the smallest root system, and it has two, well, yes, this one also has two sliced edges. The bottom cutting I will give to Dania. This one has the one growth point already, and like I could see maybe another auxiliary bud. So this one will be for Dania. And I'm gonna do I wonder if I should do soil for her plants. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a small batch of soil. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Oh, it's too big. I don't wanna put, I'll put Dania's in this one because this is like more presentable of a cup. I'll put Alice's in a McDonald's cup because that's more on brand for her. Oh, this is not. Oh my God. What's another question? Are there any YouTubers / plant influencers you don't like? Yes. Am I gonna name drop them? Hell no. Heck no, I'm not. Listen, I don't like I don't hate anyone. Let's put it that way. I don't even hate the person that I was just talking about. I really don't. She's just highly annoying. But there's nobody that I like hate. I just would rather not watch them. But that's, you know, I leave it at that. I don't need to like make a scene. A reason that I wouldn't like you, to be honest, is if you're a little bit too, what's the word? Trendy. Like when you do stuff that's just for views, it just kind of annoys me. Like the whole TikTok personality thing. I just can't, I can't ingest it when it comes to plant stuff. I just can't take it seriously. It's just, yeah, it's just not for me. Then there's, you know, plant influencers that I feel like come across as a bit, what's the word? Elitist. And like they're really, really, really full of themselves. Like they really think that they're like God's gift. Not for me. But yeah, I'm never gonna name drop anyone on this channel. It's just not gonna happen because that would, yeah. You guys are quick. You guys are quick. You'd send it in a heartbeat. I will say that someone did this on purpose. Me and Alice did a juicy Q&A, juicy plant Q&A, and someone wrote a question in a form that sounded like it was just like a general question, when really they were talking about someone specific, and me and Alice had no idea. We thought we were just answering a question as it was, but then like randomly out of nowhere, I start getting attacked by this person's followers and that person directly. And yeah, it was just weird. I was like, listen, no offense, no clue who you are. Didn't even know you existed. Didn't know you did this. Didn't know you were a YouTuber. Again, no offense. There's so many of us out here. It's like, you can't keep up. So yeah, anyway, I didn't know this person existed. Apparently she has a very loyal following, which, hey, good for you. But yeah, this person that asked the question, I feel asked it knowing what would happen. Like knew that this would stir up some stuff. And it's like, you sneaky little thing. You knew that was gonna cause drama. But you know, me and Alice answered the question in a way that, I don't know, I felt like we answered it honestly. We answered it in a way where we had no one particular person in mind. Definitely not the person that it was actually written about. But yeah, that caused a little bit of drama. I did reach out to her personally after she left some thoughts on my YouTube channel via comments. I didn't want to get messy in the comments, so I reached out to her directly and she never replied. It is what it is. I need to clean my nose out because this is all dust. I wish YouTubers would disclaim more that what works for them might not work for you. I feel like the YouTubers I watch are definitely vocal about that, They do say things like, you know, this is what's worked for me. Like, doesn't mean that you can't do this, this, and this. Like, okay, put it this way. I don't watch YouTubers that are very like know-it-all. Like, this is how you grow this plant only. And yeah, I like watching YouTubers that understand that we're just YouTubers, we're all hobbyists. Basically, I like watching people that are self-aware. and that are not full of themselves. So yeah, I guess I don't know which YouTubers are out there that are coming across as know-it-alls and making you guys feel like crappy plant parents, but I guess I just wouldn't watch them. I need some water. I'm gonna forget to water these, so let me go get water right now. I almost just ate it so bad. Do you ever get into awkward situations where people/brands want to send you free things that you don't like/want? Yes, I do. I talked about this a little bit in another video, how I always feel so bad when a small business contacts me and like wants me to, you know, like review their product or like give them a shout or something, and it's just like not a product that I would use myself, or it's like it's just another one of those companies that are kind of doing the same things. Like seriously, no offense, but I feel like some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. It's like people that make like the handmade trellises and stuff like that. Like there's so many out there, and a lot of the times it's not really my style. Like it's just not one that I would use ever in my own house. And I just feel really bad like having to say like, oh, you know, like sorry, it's just not, like I don't want to waste your money. I say that straight up. Like I just don't think it's a good fit. Like I'd rather you spend the time to send it to like another influencer that will actually like promote it with a passion. And so yeah, I do get into those awkward situations. There's also like awkward situations with people that are just like so freaking nice that want to send me like plants. Oy. Okay, so this is my red crystal dorayaki that I'm going to be chopping as well. I'm really scared to chop this one because I don't want it to die. But this is another one that I'm using in the trade, and honestly it needed an up pot a long time ago anyway, so I just don't know if it's gonna have enough stem and roots to chop. But she's gonna be chopped no matter what. I'm only taking one cutting of this because I don't think Alice wants this, and it's not a huge stem. And yeah, there's people that like say, oh, you know, I watched this video of yours and you said you wanted this plant, and like I'd love to send you a piece of mine, and it's a plant that's like really expensive, and I'm just like, I just can't. Like I appreciate it, I really do, but it's like it's just too much. It just feels too much. Or sometimes it's a plant that like I don't want. Like I don't want it. Please, I don't want it. And so yeah, I do get into some sticky situations sometimes, but I do try and navigate it gracefully, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, of course. So yeah. Okay, stem is not humongous, but big enough to chop, which thankfully is the case because I wanted to give her a cutting that had some roots, but I also wanted to make sure I had enough roots to sustain my own plant. And it looks like I got 50-50. So there's probably one, I can see two. I can see 2 nodes on here, 3. Cool. And then in terms of pot size, I probably could go bigger with this. I'm actually gonna chop these 2 leaves off because they've got sort of a weird fungal-y thing going on. I don't think it's actually fungal, but either way, I'm gonna just remove that because now that there are less roots, I don't want it to have to sustain so many leaves, and I want to focus more on root growth again. Do I want to upsize the pot though is the thing, because now I'm wondering, like, it's probably gonna be too big. If I go one size bigger, I can probably just go back into that same pot size, but we'll see. It would be nice to pot it up though and not have to worry about it. No, I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. It's not that much bigger, but it is bigger. Just a little bit. I'm actually feeling really good about this size. I am gonna do a little bit of leca down at the bottom Do you have a hard time differentiating this hobby versus earning money? I want to say sometimes I feel like I walk a very, very fine line. In what ways? I don't know how. That's just what it feels like. For the most part, I'm gonna say no. I feel like I've done a good job at making sure that I keep this actual hobby alive for me and exciting. I do try and do a lot of plant stuff off camera because that's how it was in the beginning, and that's how I fell in love with plants. It was just kind of like doing it by myself and, you know, the peace that it brought me. And so I definitely want to sort of uphold the integrity of that and, like, in a way sort of like honor that ritual that I have with myself. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that this hobby doesn't earn me money, because it does. And it's earned me a significant amount of money. I'm not going to say it's like enough to retire me, but it was enough for me to stop doing my actual full-time job full-time. And so sometimes I wonder, like, am I doing this because I like the money, or am I doing it because I really love plants? Listen, the question of whether, like, I am in this for the plants or for the money, it's never going to be a question. I 100% do this for the plants. I'm going to do this beyond, you know, the time that I'm on YouTube, and that's how I envision my life to be. Before I had Archie, like, my life was going to be Vince, my plants, and my nieces and nephews, and that was it. But now it's like, yeah, it's like now I've got Archie in the mix, but I also see plants as sort of this long-term thing, and it's not just because of YouTube. But I think that there are some times where, let's say that I'll be doing stuff with Alice or Jing, and it'll be like a fun plant thing, and then my mind immediately goes to, like, oh, I should film it, or maybe I can film it because I can take this as a you know, kill two birds with one stone. I really don't like that saying, but yeah, that's my mind goes to that, and I have to actively tell myself, like, no, I should be spending time with them. Like, this is just time to be, like, offline and just enjoying plants, enjoying this event, whatever it is that we're doing. So yeah, I think that in that way, I have to check myself sometimes, because it can get a little bit, not dicey, but it can get a little bit mixed up. Let's just say that. This is too small. I need a bigger cup. And then the last question that I'm going to answer is something that I talked about a little bit in the beginning, but it's just, how long do you think that you'll be doing YouTube for? And I've always said that I'll do it for as long as you guys will have me. But what that really means is I'm going to do it for as long as it's worth the energy and the time and the money. I started YouTube honestly as an extension of my Instagram and a way to kind of make some revenue on the side, when I did realize that it was kind of becoming, I'm not gonna say lucrative, but, you know, it was bringing in money to keep the roof over my head and put food on the table. And especially now, me being a mom, it's like the times that I'm doing stuff like this, like spending time to film, you know, I'm not, in a way I am being taken away from Archie and enjoying, like, every single moment that I can with him, you know. So I just want to make sure that it stays worth it for me, because I don't do this I don't do this just for fun. And I think some people will tell you that and lie to you and tell you that, like, they do it because they do it for the love of it, but then, you know, they're pushing all these affiliate links all the time and stuff. I 100% do it because I love it and because it makes me money. You know, why not do both? It's amazing. But, you know, I'll do it for as long as it's worth it. Let's just say that. I'm not going to put, like, a time on it. I'm not going to say in, like, a year I'm done or 2 years I'm done. But the second that it starts becoming like a chore, or the time invested is not, I'm not seeing a return on it, that might be the time. or whenever I just feel burnt out, I guess. Okay, the last plant, I wanted to, you know what? No, I'm gonna try and do these too because they're so dry and I need to water it. So three more. Okay, the next one I'm gonna do is my Wenlingeri from Amanda. Both Dania and Alice want a cutting of this plant, and it has been the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know what is going on here. Let me just get it out and I'm gonna show you. I've been confused about what has been going on with this plant and what it's trying to do. And this has been in here for, how long has, no, it actually hasn't been in here for that long. I don't even know if this can be chopped, you guys. I have not had like pretty much any growth on this thing for a long time. This is like my slowest grower. There's so much sheath. There's like 2 growth points or 2 cataphyls. Like I don't know what's what. But I did have to repot this because it was growing up against the side of the pot. Okay, you know what? This has grown from a completely new growth point. Look at how wild this is. I don't even know what I'm looking at. So here's the main stem that it grew from. This is the new growth point. But then there's this, and then this. What am I missing here? What am I actually looking at? I don't know. But anyway, there's quite a bit of, oh look, there's a growth point down here too. There's like multiple growth points. Okay, let me just chop it because it's hard to show you guys what I'm actually talking about. I actually didn't know that was down there. I'm gonna try to, some of these are gonna have to be rootless though. Look at this tiny little thing. Oh my gosh. Watch me give this tiny little piece to Alice and hers is gonna be bigger than mine. Look at it. Oh my gosh, it's so small. It's so small. It's so small. It's a completely new growth point that started. Cool. Okay, this is going to Alice. And then I gotta get, I mean, it would have been nice to give a leaf, but I don't know if I can get one. Okay, there's stem down here. I just want to make sure, like, if I'm chopping, I'm still giving myself some growth points because it's like really crazy. That is gonna be a dicey chop. Okay, how about I just separate this new growth point from the old one? Luckily, I still have a root on here. Okay, I just broke it off. Nice, Sherman, way to go. Okay, I'm gonna keep this because I don't know what's going on, and I'm very invested and curious to see if I lose this leaf. C'est la vie, whatever. Now I have this leaf here and quite a bit of stem and basically the entire root system. So I wanna chop this in half, but then she's not gonna have any roots. How about I chop off the butt? Because I need an insurance piece for myself. So I'm gonna cut sort of at an angle. I don't even know if this part of the stem is alive still. I wanna say it is. Yeah, it's alive. I don't know if anything is gonna happen with this chonk, you guys, but there's that auxiliary bud right there. So I'm gonna keep that. And then this will go to Dania. I am gonna root trim a bit though, because I don't wanna have to find a pot that's like gonna fit this whole thing. So I'm gonna chop some roots off. Gosh, it's like I chopped off so much, but it's still so dense. I'm gonna chop off some of these that have like black roots on them. I think this is good. I'll leave her with this and hopefully it does fine. I almost wonder if I should put it back in pond or if I should just do soil. I want to do, I don't know if this cup is big enough. Dania, if you're watching this, you're obviously gonna have to upsize it because this cup is tiny and I don't want to give you a McDonald's cup because that's so embarrassing. Anyways, y'all, that was my little social media YouTube chat. I guess closing thoughts are, I am very grateful for you guys. I am very grateful for the people who continue to show up for me every single week and that leave comments, or even if you just like it and help me with the algorithm. I just appreciate you guys, and I hope that me talking about like, you know, wanting to quit YouTube and like it not being like worth the money, like it doesn't mean that I don't like appreciate you guys, because I do. But being on socials is very sort of, it can be soul sucking, let's just put it that way. And so yeah, I do think about sort of my future on here pretty often because I don't know how long it's gonna last. Where's my pokey stick? Oh, here. But to be fully honest, I didn't even think that I would make it here. No, I don't have like the biggest following for as long as I've been doing this. Like you'd think, you know, I've been on YouTube for almost 4 years now, like I would be higher up in the ranking follower wise. My growth has been relatively small, slow and steady, but I do think that I have I've captured quality over quantity, that's for sure. Okay, I might have to do these other repots off camera. I wanted to do it on camera, but I have to do these tonight because I need to water them. They're so dry, and I'm gonna lose them to dry rot in another day. But show's over, folks. Yeah, lights are off. That means it's 8 or 7, and that means it's time for Archie to go to bed. So I'm gonna put him to sleep, and then I'm probably just going to be repotting these while I listen to a podcast. So anywho, thanks for hanging today. I think we're gonna do one more day of. I want to do some more repots of the plants that I need to upsize from the living room. Primarily ones that dry out too fast. I know that they're gonna dry out when I'm in California. So I wanna get those repotted. And then I don't really know what else I'm gonna do in this week of besides that. I think that actually might be it. Just repotting and then I'm done. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Change of plans today. It's Dean McDowell day. So I have one of my Deans, obviously, in my hands. And then the second Dean that looks a little bit like a hot mess right now is here. These leaves are like, oh my God, so spread apart. I don't even know what to do with that one. This one is the one that looks a little bit more ruly, but I need to give this some love. So here's the tea. Oh my gosh. I just want to do some spider mite treatment because this thing is just covered in spider mites, and I actually just did a treatment like 2 weeks ago. I used one of my spider mite sprays, but it literally did nothing. So I'm gonna finally give this a whirl. This is called the High Yield Spreader Sticker, and it's a non-ionic surfactant. Basically, it says that it improves and increases absorption of insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and liquid fertilizers. So you just mix it in with what you're using, and it just makes it stick better. So the dilution is 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon. I'm only gonna be using about this much, and I think I'm gonna be using it with end all. So I'm gonna mix maybe like 2 to 3 milliliters of this in with end all, and then I'm gonna give them a spray. But before I do that, I'm gonna rinse them off because seriously, they are covered in spider mites. It's just like so crazy how I can give this like a thorough spray down, thorough wash down, and then they're just back the next week. Like seriously, spider mites have been way more annoying than thrips. I had thrips earlier this year and I think I did like 3 treatments and they were completely gone. Spider mites I have been dealing with for 2 years now, so it's been kind of a pain. But I'm gonna, before I go and do the stuff that I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna bring these into the shower and give them a spray, and then we're gonna mix this up and also give them a nice treatment. Okay, I'm recording on my phone because my camera is in the bathroom, but I'm just gonna be doing like guesstimated dilutions because I just don't have the mental capacity to think about what the actual dilutions are. Oh, this stuff is like spilling. It looks like it's like, it was already kind of like torn open. Oh, because I'm an idiot and I gave some to Alice, duh. I'm like, I bought a used one. Okay, so I'm literally, again, the dilution is 2 teaspoons per gallon, but I'm gonna just do, I don't have like a gallon of plants to do right now. I mean, I should do my entire collection, but at the same time, I kind of don't wanna do this on everything. Kind of want to see how this Dean does with it, because if it leaves it feeling super sticky or like just gross, then I probably don't want to do it to my entire collection. But I want to at least test it out. Whoa. It's very oily, I will say that. And then I'm gonna be doing this end all. This is the concentrate. I did buy this one from Canadian Tire the other day, but this goes so much further than that one. Dilution of this, I'm just gonna probably add like a little bit more than a milliliter. Not quite 2, but just a little bit over 1.5. All right. Smells not bad. The high yield actually doesn't smell like anything. And then I'm just gonna give this a little mix. It's got this sort of like cloudy color. So I'm gonna go spray the Dean now. I do have one glove on because it says that it causes skin irritation. And I mean, pretty much all of the products that we're using says that, but because I've never used this product before, I just want to be on the safe side. I want to get like as much of the petioles as possible too. You know what kind of smells like? It smells like hair dye. It smells like box hair dye. Also, I wanted to do this today because on my to-do list tomorrow is deep cleaning this bathroom. So I need to do a steam in here. I got this spray bottle from the dollar store and I actually really like it because it has a really fine mist, but it has a wide spray. Like I can get way more surface area. Oh my gosh, the smell of hair dye is so strong. So if I'm happy with the results of that, I'm probably gonna go ahead and do all of my philodendron, all my monstera, and my alocasia. Probably not in this video because I don't think I have it in me to do that this week, but at some point before I go, I definitely want to get my high spider mite traffic plants sprayed, because it's usually when I leave that the infestations go crazy, and I just want to come home after the new year not being welcomed with a new colony of spider mites. So anyway, that is that. Let's let that dry off. I'm probably actually gonna leave it in the shower until tomorrow. I might actually also bring in my fan, my tower fan in there. Another thing that I wanted to do was chop my esqueleto. I just redid the pole, but I'm looking at the new Cataphil and it's like this small. It is so tiny, and I kind of just want to like start over. The size that my esqueleto is right now, that was having the top chopped off, so I know that it's gonna grow back pretty fast. And also I want to give my sister a cutting of this. This is what it looks like right now. Whoa. And yeah, look at this new Cataphil. First off, it's not even growing on the pole anymore. And it ran. This is the first runner that I've had on it in a long time. And look how small that new Cataphil is. So I'm just not feeling it anymore. So I am going to get this chopped. I think what I'm gonna do, okay, I'm gonna chop off the top that's not connected to the pole, which is kind of a lot. I don't have a ton of space in the car, so I can't bring my sister like a whole thing. Like if anything, I can bring her like maybe 2 leaves. But I'm gonna chop like right here. Like I can definitely bring her this, and I think I will, but I think I'm gonna chop the top off. I feel pretty good about this stem size, like the new growth that should come from it. I should get this size leaf, or she should get this size leaf on a mid cut like this in maybe 2-3 months if she gives it a pull. So this is one of the species that I find size up so fast with very little effort. You still have to do a little bit of work, but yeah, it's pretty easy. So I don't know, should I chop the top off is a question. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna chop the top off. So I'm gonna cut even more, and I'll probably bring her this. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But I want to have some of these lower leaves for myself. So I have two, just ran over perlite. I have 2 poles here, so I'm gonna remove this top one. But what I actually wanna do is do sort of like a mid cut, because it's already rooted into this pole and I don't wanna mess that up. I'm gonna maybe chop around, okay, so if the pole's here, I think maybe I'll just chop this whole bottom off. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like chop here. And then let's see if I can separate out this pole. I don't know if this is gonna just easily come apart, because I'm pretty sure the roots are gonna go all the way down in there. That's just my guess. Come on. So I've got to chop one more time. I see the root that's holding me back. It's this guy here. There we go. That was my hope. I can see some roots in here. Should I pull the pole with it? Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be fibers everywhere. All right, so here's the bottom cutting. Here's my new plant. I kind of feel like I should just leave this pole because it will probably eventually grow into it, hoping that, you know, the growth continues after being chopped. But I sort of want to get this bottom part into like a semi-hydro situation. I'm almost thinking I might propagate in leca. I mean, it's done really good in soil,
But here's the thing, I want this pole to stay really, really wet because I want these roots to continue on down here to create my new root system. It looks like it's pretty rooted starting from here until here. And so if I can keep this part wet, I have a better chance at continuing that rooting process without losing too many leaves. There's a little bit of a gap of substrate here, so I'm gonna push all of this down and then I'm gonna pot this in leca. I actually think I'm gonna bring this whole pole to my kitchen sink and wet the substrate so that all of it is nice and hydrated before I get it into leca. It's so crumbly. That's one like huge drawback about using like a tree fern fiber soil pole if you're not gonna do moss in the front. I think that's something that I'm probably gonna do different going forward with my moss pole plants. I'm gonna do moss in the front to keep everything in, and then I'll do the tree fern fiber soil mix behind it, because it's just too messy this way. It's like not even worth it. But I will say that I have really enjoyed using a tree fern fiber mix in my poles opposed to just straight moss. So much easier to do stuff like this and kind of just plop it into its next substrate. Way less root breakage, and overall I just wouldn't, I don't think I would ever go back to just using a straight moss pole. Alrighty. She's tucked in and I'm gonna go give it a wash down. I really don't know why I'm faced this way today. I've never filmed this way with this as the backdrop, but just felt right. It just felt right today. I think this is the pot I'm gonna use for my esqueleto. I feel like it's big enough. I hope it is. I should probably sift out this clay. Clay? Am I good? I'm like not knowing how to say anything today. This leca specifically can get really dusty, or it is really dusty, so I'm just gonna sift it first in here before I put it in this vessel. I usually don't care if it's going in a no drainage pot or in a pot with drainage, because then I can just flush it out. But if I don't sift it beforehand, all of that dust kind of just accumulates at the bottom. I want a lot of this pole and these aerial roots to be underneath the substrate so that it expedites the rooting process. And now I'm just gonna fill. Probably should have got more leca first. While I do this, I actually got more questions regarding the social media talk I was gonna say taquito talk. What the hell? I'm just gonna give, there were like a few that I really wanted to talk about. This first one is best practice for giving credit to other YouTubers who did it first or made popular. I think this one is kind of, okay, well, I can't, this is so loud, hold on. Sorry, I forgot how loud that would be. Okay, so like I was saying, I feel like it can get a little bit dicey because really in the plant world, I want to say that there are no truly original ideas. Honestly, it's kind of just regurgitated information from previous growers. And even if you feel like you did coin something original, the chances that someone else did it before and maybe hasn't been as public about it or whatever, or doesn't have a public platform, the chances are pretty high. And yeah, like for example, I've had people message me asking how I feel that more plant YouTubers are making super long form content. I will say, I think that's one thing that I can say has been more original to my channel, specifically in the plant niche, are making these really, really, really long videos, like over an hour and a half, over 2 hours. And I think other YouTubers in my industry have kind of caught on how, I guess, popular it actually is. And they've definitely capitalized on that and have started doing like really long videos. Now, would it be nice for some like bigger YouTubers to say like, hey, am starting to do really long videos now because Unplanned Parenthood was doing has been doing long videos and it inspired me. Yes, but at the same time, like, who am I to say that they actually did get that idea from me? Like, there are other YouTubers out there that make super, super long videos, but I guess from my observation, I don't know of any YouTubers personally that like sort of made it their goal to make super duper long videos the way that I do. But even if they did give me credit, it's like, who cares? They probably wouldn't even follow me anyway. So it just doesn't matter. And sometimes I feel like, yeah, again, going back to like you kind of thinking you have an original idea, I could do something on this channel thinking this is something that I sort of thought of myself and like I didn't get inspiration from anyone else. And then someone will bring up that, oh, actually I got that method from this YouTuber and like I didn't know that person existed and did that. And so it's like I didn't intentionally copy, or that person didn't intentionally copy me. It's just, I do think that two people can have the same idea. But I do think when it's so blatant, like it's something really obvious that like you would have been copying or whatever, I think that the right way to go about it is to just give them credit and just say like, I was inspired by so-and-so. But the thing is like, if you're gonna be doing it in so many videos, it's like, at what point does it become excessive to be like, oh, I got this from this person, I got that from that person? I don't know, it just feels, yeah, it feels like a little much. Do I go around making sure that, you know, every time I feel like someone copies me that I tell them like, hey, next time you better mention it? No, I've actually never done that once. And I don't ever plan to, because I don't know, I just feel like I would rather just stay in my lane and don't get too stuck on the whole crediting thing, because it gets a little fuzzy, it gets a little blurry, because it's like, who really thought of that idea? Who really, like, whose idea is that really? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to claim anything like that. Now, I think it's different with like actual inventions. I think some of us saw some of the snarkiness that went around during the beginning of like the front closing moss pole date, like when that sort of came about. And yeah, there were like creators and businesses out there that were kind of coming for each other, saying like, I have a patent on this, and this was my idea first, and this is when I posted the front closing pole first, and then all these other people started doing it. And yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, is it a coincidence that suddenly everyone started making front closing poles? No, especially since it all happened at the same time. But if there's anything that I learned from owning multiple businesses, is that if there is a good idea, and if that good idea can make money, it's gonna happen, regardless if you know, try and proclaim it to the world that you're the original and you did it first. And sometimes even if you do get a patent on something, it still doesn't protect you, because I think the law is that as long as you change a certain percentage of the actual design and it's not exactly made the way that the patent has it, you know, registered or whatever, like, you can actually get away with it. I kind of dealt with this a little bit with my business. There was a product that was really, really popular, that was like my main money maker, and then Shein swept in and stole the design, used my photos, and just photoshopped it in different colors and sold it for literally 5% of my markup. And yeah, that wiped out that SKU. But yeah, there was nothing I could do about it. And even if I tried, I would be fighting Shein. Like, I wasn't gonna win that one. And you know, Shein really is, companies like Shein, Romwe, they are just mass manufacturers of styles from everywhere, which is why they don't ever have cohesive product images, because they're stealing images from all these other companies and they're, you know, building it into their website, and they are photoshopping all the colors that they could make it in. And yeah, it sucks. It really does. Anyway, going back, the best practice for giving credit to other YouTubers, I just think if you are trying to be truthful to your subscribers and there is a really good idea that you got from someone else, just say that you got the idea from them, because I don't think your subscribers are going to think any less of you, like, oh, this person did it first and like, why are you copying? Like, if it's a good idea, it's a reason, there's a reason that it's a good idea. And also, if you don't want people to copy you and you don't want people to be inspired by you, don't become a content creator. Don't become an influencer. That is quite literally our job, is to influence you. I hate that word, but if you think about it, that's what it is. That's why they call them influencers. So I kind of find it crazy that when an influencer actually influences people and people are inspired by it and they want to do it too, they're just like, oh, you're copying me, when it's like, wasn't that the intention? I do think it's different though if you take an idea and you run with it and you like make it your entire personality and you really are trying to like trademark it as your original idea. I find that to be really corny, and yeah. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about that. By the way, I am doing an alcohol spray, what is that? Dr. Wood's Castile soap spray. I actually don't really think this plant has pests. I've probably seen spider mites on it like once or twice. I think I've seen thrips on it once or twice, but otherwise it's been pretty good, surprisingly. I would think that a plant like this would be honestly like infested with thrips or something, but she's been pretty okay. All right, so I'm actually feeling quite good about this downsize. And I don't leave for another like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. I don't even know when I leave. So I'll be able to like monitor this and see how it does. This has Orca mycorrhizal inoculant in it, and so I'm just gonna be adding it in here. And I did not let this callus for as long as I'd like, but I'm not too worried about it. This monstera just has the will to live. Okay, so I'm gonna get this back up where it was. What I'm gonna do with this bottom cutting, I don't know. I love this vessel size right here, but I am willing. Guys, it just snapped clean in half, like a piece of celery. Look at that. It just snapped right in half. Wow. That's surely something. Okay, but you know what? No, simply no. I'm not doing this. I ain't doing this. Okay, I'm gonna chop this and maybe just get some roots on it like this, or maybe I'll just bring all of these to my sister because they have no market value anymore. Not even for like nice big leaves like this. They just don't hold any value, especially where I live. Sometimes it's hard to even not sell, but like give away free plants. They're like,
will you deliver?
For a free plant, dude, you better get your ass over here. Before I get to reorganizing my plant cart, I think since I already have all my spider mite stuff out here, I'm gonna spider mite treat some other plants in here while we talk a little bit more about some of these other questions that came in. I've been feeling so emotional this week, you guys. For one, my sister moves into her new house and they have lived in this house for the last 5 years that is not in a good neighborhood, and I get so stressed out with the kids. I don't know, I've just been really wanting them out of that neighborhood for a long time. And my sister finally found a house, and her husband worked so hard to save up for this house. And you guys would be so surprised at how much percent they put down on the house. It is wild. I've never seen that much money be moved before. Very proud of them, and just like seeing videos this week of the kids just running around in this giant house. Everything is brand new and they just look so happy. They have so much space. Like they have their own like beautiful backyard. It just makes me want to cry because I'm just like so happy for them. And like I'm just so happy for my sister because, you know, she's like struggled with her mental health the last few years ever since becoming a stay-at-home mom. She does work now and she's like already so much happier. But the house that they were living in was like very dark. It was super old and definitely needed lots of renovations and like fixing up. And yeah, it's just crazy to go from that to this big new house that has, you know, she's getting her like ideal like dream oak floors put in. There's all these windows and natural light, her own yard with like a pergola, and it's like 2 stories. Like it's a beautiful home, especially for their first home. And so yeah, I've just like been like really emotional about that because again, it's move-in week. And then I'm also emotional because Alice is right now flying to the UK, and she went to the UK last summer, but I don't know why that didn't really feel like she was there for a long time. Like I actually almost forgot. Like I did forget that she went. But yeah, she's on her way now and she has just needed this for a long time. She's had kind of a difficult year and like, you know, she's been going through some stuff and this was just like needed. And so I'm just happy that she's finally going and she's good. She's gonna be gone for like 2.5 weeks and I'm gonna be watering at her place. I was gonna ask if I could film doing some watering there, but honestly, I wanna just like respect her privacy because there's a reason that she doesn't show like that much of her house. And so I don't wanna accidentally like show parts of it that she didn't really want online. Anyway, I am spider mite treating my cupria, which it's doing all right. It did get a really bad case of spider mites not too long ago, and it was sort of like an uphill battle from there. I did remove all of the leaves at one point and it kind of grew back, but yeah, not doing great. Not doing great. I probably, no, I don't want to repot it because I actually just repotted this not too long ago. But maybe I could top it up just in case, because I do think that the next time I repot this, I'm gonna have to chop some stem off because it's getting quite long. It's crazy to think that this was grown from a little tiny corm and now it's like this. Oh God, look at this leaf. It's yellowing. But yeah, it's just weird that this came from a tiny little corm. Plants are crazy. They're so cool. The other question that I got was, is it ever okay to leave a negative comment? And this person said like, you follow that person, you like their videos, like you leave nice comments usually, but like maybe in this one instance or some instances, like you don't agree with what they said about something or something, yeah, they did or whatever, kind of like struck a wrong chord with you. And here's my thoughts on that. I feel like it would be really narcissistic to think that every single person who follows you always has to agree with you 100% of the time. Because I can guarantee you that, let's say whoever is my like #1 supporter, whatever, I bet you there are things that I do or have done or have said, whatever, that like they've disagreed with. And that's part of being human. I think it would be seriously weird to get online and be like, everyone who follows me always has to agree with me. Like, it's just very narcissistic and just unrealistic to have that kind of mentality. And I've never ever had that mentality before. And so, no, I don't think that all of the comments that you leave for someone that you follow always have to be nice. Now, would I say like it's okay to leave mean comments? No. I think that no matter what you disagree with, I think that you can always find a respectful way to make your point known or make your point clear without being mean. Just like talk to that person the way that you would want to be approached or you would want to be talked to too. But I do think it's weird that if like any YouTuber or anyone online gets defensive over an opinion, especially if it was voiced respectfully, it just shows that they're only online to be praised. And I typically don't follow those people because you can kind of tell what their intentions are. And especially in like the niche that I'm in, you know, with plants, like I am very vocal about the fact that I don't know it all, and I'm not on here to teach you anything. I'm here to like just share my journey and share what I know. And I always say take it with a grain of salt. But, you know, there are people out there that do have that personality, and no matter, I would say, how educated they are or knowledgeable they are in a certain field, if you're not willing to at least hear people's opinion, especially if you are wrong about something, I don't know if they should be online. I really don't. I've had like really good conversations with people who have come at me in a negative way, and I have like wanted it to be a teaching moment for both of us, where I acknowledge why they like are upset or why they've said something that way, and then we've ended up like going back and forth in comments, and like we were able to kind of just mutually be like, all right, like I'm glad we had that conversation. And if you're one of those people, please chime in the comments, because sometimes I try and find, like, I think about these conversations that I want to kind of like show you guys, like, see, this is what I mean, like you can disagree and like talk it through if you guys both have different opinions on something, and as long as you just maintain that mutual like respect for each other, most of the time you can reach a place where you're like, okay, I understand where you're coming from and like I get it now. Or you can just respectfully agree to disagree, and that person can still follow you and watch your other videos, and you don't have to, as a creator, block that person. But it's different when someone comes at you in a very, very negative way. And I personally don't tolerate that behavior, because I just feel like I'm not gonna be gaslit into thinking that you're trying to be respectful when I know you're straight up just not being respectful. So I think there is a clear difference, and I do think as a content creator, you should be prepared to have those conversations and be prepared for people to have differing opinions than you. And I think as long as people are still showing you a shred of respect while they're trying to get their point across, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I haven't even shown you guys this, but my friend Mike, who is the moderator in me and Alice's Discord, he sent me a variegated pink dragon, and it's pushing out another leaf now. And it's actually very cute. So I'm just gonna spider mite treat this one. This one actually doesn't have spider mites, I don't think, or maybe it does. Oh no, okay, so remember when I drilled up there and I didn't move anything? Yeah, there's like drywall dust all over the stuff that was underneath it. Like, you guys should see my fry deck. I've been needing to bring that thing to the shower for like 2 weeks and haven't done it yet. But I think now that I've mixed some high yield, I think I will bring it to the shower and give it a little TLC. But I am gonna be doing a lot of stuff off camera. I think tomorrow is gonna be my last day of week of filming, and I do wanna get some things repotted from the shelf, because there are some like SOS ones that I want to get addressed before I go. Speaking of my trip, I'm like actually super excited because I only have one more video to film after this one and get edited before I go. And then after that, I will have basically 2 full weeks of just being on mom duty, and getting the house in tip-top shape before I go to California. Because again, I have that superstition that your house needs to be in immaculate condition at the stroke of the new year, because then that will set the tone for the rest of the year. Like if you have a messy house, when it hits like the new calendar year, the rest of your year is going to be messy. Like your house is going to be messy for the rest of the year, no matter what you try and do. That's not judgment, that's just this weird superstition that I have, and so it's very important to me to get the house in order. This is my alocasia tenderusa from Dania. Guys, I don't know, like I hated this plant at first, like for a long time. When Alice wanted the Jacqueline, I was like, why, it's so ugly. And I'm still not gonna say that it's my favorite. I think I would like it more if it didn't do this yellowy mosaic looking thing. And it seems like normal for the tenderusa, but I don't know, I just find it a little off-putting. It looks sick. Like I wish it could just stay nice and dark like this. But actually it's doing really well, and it's sizing up with very little effort. It's got a new leaf here, and the roots look good ever since moving it into pond. So I don't know. I don't see any spider mites on this one. I just see a lot of drywall. I'm gonna leave it because this doesn't look like a fun plant to wipe down. My Heterophylla dragon's breath seems to have taken to life in this micro leca from the Variegated Plant Shop. New roots. Thoughts on micro leca? I don't think I have any. Yes, it was gifted to me, and yes, this channel is basically sponsored by the Variegated Plant Shop, but I'm not gonna push anything onto you guys that I don't feel like you need. Do I like it so far? Yes. Would I say that it's an essential at this point? No. But I am enjoying it so far. I am. And it looks like it transitioned into this really well without rotting any roots. It's very light. It's a very light leca. I just wish, I would love if the Grow It Leca came in micro leca. That would be amazing. Oh, did I show you my Heterophylla dragon's breath? This is also from Dania. And this leaf here grew in a prop box, and it's huge. It was just squished up against the top. I'm surprised it even looks somewhat normal, but it's slowly sizing up. Have you guys seen how big Dania's is? It's freaking wild. It's massive. I think the last one that I'm gonna give a wipe down is my Ficus Shaveriana. It's again, just a lot of drywall from when I drilled my ceiling a few weeks ago. Okay. What time is it? It is 6 o'clock. I have an hour until bedtime. Second to last question is how to deal with plant burnout, especially when you have to film. I will tell you that there is no worse feeling in this hobby than being in the thick of feeling burnt out and then knowing that you need to film a video. There have been a few videos that I've had to force myself to film just to get something out, and I don't know if you guys will be able to tell which videos those are, but they didn't perform well, and for a reason. Don't blame you. But I'll say that something that I kind of learned, I'm still not the best person at, I guess, coping with this or dealing with it, but when I'm feeling burnt out on plants, I will just do the bare minimum, which is watering. And bare minimum does not even include pest treatments. I know that an infestation can take over really fast, but when you're burnt out, the last thing you want to do is pest treat. Even when you're not burnt out, pest treating is not fun. And so I would not force that because I think it's gonna make you hate it even more. But I would say just water at the bare minimum just to keep them alive, right? Keep those roots happy. And then a certain, if you truly love plants and you truly love this hobby, enough time will go by where you'll be doing the bare minimum and you won't be taking the time to appreciate new growth and see the new leaves and stuff. And then when you kind of come out of the fog, then it's oh, you start seeing all of these things that you didn't notice before. And then you just kind of like, it just like snowballs and you're like, oh, I'm gonna repot this. And I don't know, at least that's how it's been for me. It's like if I just kind of take a little break and not do too much, basically like allow myself to miss them a little bit is the point I'm trying to make here. This new leaf is so pretty. I love this like minty speckly variegation on it. Like before it was, I mean, I guess it is minty, like speckly, but it's like really dark. I do think it's probably gonna darken up though. But like, look how pretty that is. It's so nice. The leaves are getting big. I really want this to turn into like a full tree. Will it turn into a tree? I don't know. It is getting like nice and barky though, because this was not barky at all before. It was like this, like just looked like a stem. I almost wonder if it makes more sense to chop the top off and get some like auxiliary buds activated so that it like branches off. But I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till it gets a little bit bigger because these, yeah, it's like really scrawny down here. Anyway, this one actually probably needs to be repotted soon. I want to find like a nice pot for this. It doesn't belong in a glass vessel. Okay, that is the most spider mite treatments I'm gonna do. What? That is all the spider mite treatments I'm gonna do today. I want to just kind of get my plant cart reset because I can feel it getting messy. And I feel like my plant cart is one thing that I need to be clean in order to maintain order everywhere else. Although also my shorts are so short, they are riding up. Okay, let's go bring Miss Lady in the plant room. I mean, honestly, it's not crazy bad. It just needs like to be wiped down. I think some things can be refilled, like my CalMag can be refilled. I just refilled my fertilizer, but there's just stuff in here that is just, it's looking a little musty, and so I think I just need to like give it a wipe down. I think I want to start actually down here. So I have this thing of stuff. Now, remember in, which video was it? Forgot which video it was, but I cleaned out these cabinets. So this cabinet now is just dedicated to plant stuff. So I put stuff like my alcohol in there so I can remove that. I don't know where the heck this big ass bag of leca is gonna go. I have fungicide, which I think can also go in there because I'm not using it all the time. I also have, I always forget I have Azamax, and I have so much of it too. I should probably use it. What else do I have in here? I have, oh my gosh, I got this stuff from my friend Jessica. She called it stank ass neem cake for fungus gnats. I didn't have the best luck with it. She said that it got rid of her fungus gnats in like, what did she say, like 2 treatments or something. But I don't know if it was just like coincidence when I used it, but I kind of felt like my fungus gnats got worse. I'm not sure if it's for me, but I almost want to give it like a try again just to see. I got a sample of fish shiz that says that it's a soil conditioner, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna use it. I might actually just give this away. I got it as a free sample with an order from Palm Street, but I don't want to. It's not nothing against the people who sent it to me or this company, but I'm just, everything that I'm using, I'm comfortable with, and I don't really feel like introducing something to the mix. I have orchid food here. I'm gonna give this and this to Alice because she's living her best orchid life now, and I have 1 orchid and I just don't need it. I have this hydrogen peroxide spray that I've been using to spray like the tops of prop boxes and stuff, like when it gets moldy. So I'm gonna keep that. I have root stimulator, and I have this random measuring cup that I don't need in here. So that clears out this thing. Now the question is do I want to keep it in here or do I want to put it in some sort of box? Oh, so close, guys. It like doesn't fit by a hair, by like a millimeter. That's bothersome. Oh, I was looking for this. It was underneath the thing. I wonder if I can go this way. I could, but does it mean I should? I don't know. I do feel like it can be organized better though, because it's just not working. It's just not working for me. I feel like I'm constantly just like digging and trying to like go through the rubble. Right now, I have all of my sort of like zip ties, not zip ties, my Velcro ties and random string and stuff in here. And then in this one, I have all of my hooks and stuff. This itself needs to be reorganized. Do I want to do that right now? No. So I'm gonna leave that, but I do feel like maybe this can go in somewhere else because I'm not really even utilizing the whole thing. Do you guys ever get this? My fertilizer just like leaks, like what is this, like mineral salts everywhere, and like it just gets all over the place. So I need to clean that too. Ooh, this is gonna be satisfying. Look at this. That wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna just like pop right off. Now I have this thing which can house, I think, everything else. I have this little, this does have a purpose. I collect my pollen in here and I scrape it, but I should not reuse it because of cross-contamination. So I've got this one that I will use. And then I have my mesh bags, which I use for mosquito dunks. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Okay, and then down here I have pretty much everything that I need. I don't see anything down here that I am not using, but like I said, I could refill something like my CalMag. I got CalMag on my new shirt. I'm changing. I'm gonna wash this right now. I'll be right back. Okay, we are here, the last day of week of in 2024. I'm not gonna have time to do a week of in January or in December because I'm gonna be pretty much gone most of December, but we'll be back in January. But today we're just gonna close it with some repots. I feel like there are just some that need to be handled before I go. I think these are truly going to be, the fountain sound is bothering me. I actually put like little rocks in there to like muffle the sound a tiny bit, and it helps. Okay, so yeah, this is literally going to be the last of the repots that I do. I'm not gonna be doing any more after today because it's cutting it too close to the trip now. And yeah, also I need to save my strength because I'm doing a lot of plant stuff when I go back home for my sister, which is gonna be really exciting. Hopefully I can take you along with me as I do that because we are gonna deck her house out in plants. I'm hoping to maybe take you along, trying to find some plants on Marketplace, going plant shopping. Yeah, we've got 2 stories of house to fill with plants. Anyway, the first one I'm gonna do is this Huperzia numerifolia or something. I don't know how to say it. It's not doing too bad. If you missed it, I actually got this as a birthday gift from Jing and Alice. It has dried out a little bit, like you can see some dried bits down at the end, but that's because this substrate dries out so fast. I think it just needs a bigger pot, and I think it needs something denser. So I'm gonna be putting it in my soil mix. It kind of looks like this is mostly tree fern fiber with a little bit of soil and some perlite. So yeah, want to get more soil into it if possible. Tree fern fiber is quite dense on its own, but when it's in a small vessel, it doesn't last very long, the moisture in there anyway. I actually have not up-potted this to see what the root system looks like. I'm a little bit nervous. I owned this plant before, but it was mounted and it died so fast. So I suggest if you're not in a high humidity area, or you're not having this somewhere like a bathroom or something where it's getting like humidity every single day. Oh, those are roots. Oh, and they're dead. Well, that's not good. Maybe that's why it's browning. This root system is caca. Yeah, I would suggest potting it instead of mounting it because it's just too much. It's too much work when you have it mounted. Man, these roots are just falling apart. I don't know if it was already rotted or if I did this. I have no idea because I've never unpotted this before. But they got this from IAS in Florida when they went. So it could be like acclimatization and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully, actually, I'm wondering if I get it into pond. I grew this plant last time in moss and soil. Didn't like it. The roots are looking a little nasty right now. I would actually prefer to do leca, but here's the thing. Leca is gonna dry out so fast and I'm leaving, so that's not gonna work. What do I wanna do? I almost feel like this plant would do really well in pond. That's my spidey sense. I might regret this. Doing a transition of a Huperzia right before a trip. Oh my gosh, all of these tips are drying out. No. I feel like I'm just like not destined to have this plant. Like, look at how dry those tips are. This plant has actually dried out so many times though in my care. So I want to do a bigger vessel, and I think I'm gonna do pond. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for a pot this big, and I'm gonna do leca down at the bottom. This has a little bit of tree fern mixed into it, but it's okay. Am I nervous about this? Yes, because I love it very much. But I don't know why. My spidey senses are tingling and it's saying pond. If any of you guys have grown or are growing Hoopersia in pond, please make me feel better about this decision. And if you have killed a Hoopersia in pond, please don't tell me. Actually, no, tell me, because I want to know these things. Like, if it really does super bad, I can always ask Alice to repot it while she's here. Hopefully that's not too much to ask of her, but yeah, I just can't with how much this thing has been drying out. I almost like feel like it's not the humidity that's the issue with the drying out. It really is that like the substrate has just gone bone dry, and then also yeah, the substrate that it was in was just drying out extra fast. So now that it's in a pretty dense pond mix, I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I do need to make some myco water though, because I'm gonna forget to inoculate this. I'm using the Orca mycorrhizal inoculant for these plants that I'm repotting today. Some people have asked me what the difference is between using this and king crab versus great white. This is my uneducated research. My uneducated opinion based on my research. So great white is kind of like all-encompassing. It has like a ton of different beneficial bacteria just for growing in general. I might be mixing these two up, but I think that Orca, this one, is better for plants that are in a semi-hydro situation like this or hydroponic situation. And I think it might be the king crab that is good for nutrient uptake, and then this one is for water uptake. I could be mixing all of that up, but they are different. But if you just kind of want like a basic mycorrhizal inoculant and you don't want to fuss with all the different ones, just get great white, or billions from TPS is good too. All right, that's done. I just need to poke a hole in here and then get it hung. The tool that I use is an awl, and it's gonna be hanging from the side, so I'm gonna do it right here. Whoa. I was gonna pot up some of these seedlings. These are my narrow pallies. These are the ones that I'm gonna be selling in Canada, but I'm not gonna do that on camera. I think I'm gonna do that tonight, just because this week of is already over 3 hours long and I really don't want to hit 4 hours. So let's just handle these ones. So maybe I'll do this one. This is my crystallinum from Amanda. This leaf is really cute, but it's not working for me. I need order in my life. Probably could cut off this really small leaf too. I've honestly been loving the one leaf thing out on my shelf. It's just way easier to manage the plants that are so close together, easier to manage a infestation of spider mites, or at least treat plants preventatively when it's less bushy. And I don't know, I feel like when it has one leaf, there are certain plants for sure that look way better when it's bushy, like the clarinervium. I was actually just shopping for another clarinervium yesterday. I was looking at some pictures in my phone. Oh my gosh. There are some thick roots that have grown through the bottom here that are gonna get broken off because the holes are so tiny. It sucks. But yeah, I was looking through photos yesterday and I was just like admiring my clarinervium, and I was like, oh, this is such a pretty plant. I kind of want a second one. Oh, I hate when I break roots like that. That's why I'm kind of steering away from these square pots, because with Anthurium, sometimes the roots can get really, really thick and it breaks through them. So I'm opting for pots that just have like the really big holes and not like no slits or anything. But anyway, yeah, I was admiring my clarinervium yesterday and I was like, I think I want a second one, because there's this picture that kind of went viral on Instagram, I think like a year or two ago. and it's of this like super bushy crystallinum clarinervium, and I was like, that's what I want. I want like my entire top shelf corner to just be this like bush of clarinervium. That would be so pretty. And you'd be surprised at actually like how, I'm not gonna say expensive, but the price of clarinervium has kind of held its value, which is interesting considering that I feel like the demand is not very high. It's not a plant that's super sought after for whatever reason, even though I find it to be one of the prettiest anthurium ever. And yeah, it's like just for like a small like seedling, it's, you know, like $30-40 on Palm Street. Okay, root system looks great, besides the fact that I snapped off 2 nice big delectable roots. This is the pot size that it was in, and this is the pot size I'm going to. So not a massive jump, but I would say still pretty decent. I feel like this whole video has been talking about social media and YouTubing and whatever. So let's just ride that wave. Let's just carry on that conversation, because I had 2 last questions that I thought were worth mentioning in this video. I'm gonna try and interpret this in the way that I think they're trying to say it, because it doesn't quite make sense. Here's how it's said, or this is how it was typed out. Access to hundreds of dollars of free plant/planty things, in quote, nice for community to learn of, but costly. So I think this is what this person means, is like, maybe how do I feel about the fact that I, as like someone with a platform, has access to all of these brands that want to work with me, and like free stuff and free plants, and like how do I feel about kind of promoting that on my channel to you guys who don't have that same sort of window of opportunity. And yeah, it's nice that like it happens to me and that I can share that with you guys, but then you guys have to actually pay for the things that I'm promoting, if that makes sense. I've actually thought about this question before, and it came up, and I'm just gonna be super honest, and I really hope the brand doesn't mind that I am saying this so honestly. This first came to my mind when Mother Life Light approached me to collaborate. Off the bat, I will say it's a beautiful light. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. The light is beautiful. Not quite the color temperature that I prefer. I'm more used to like a yellow warm light. But if you love that white light, it's a really nice white light, and it's strong. And honestly, my plants actually did very, very well using it. And I did collaborate with them. I did do a giveaway with them on Instagram. But when they approached me to collaborate, I was hesitant because of the price point. I've mentioned this before, but I feel weird about promoting and influencing you guys to buy things that I could not buy myself. I can afford it. It's just, it's not the best use of my money. And I don't know, I felt a little bad about promoting this grow light that essentially performs the same way, I would say, as a light that is a fraction of the cost, like Burina. And that's why I really like promoting Burina, because one, I would say that it's my favorite kind of light to use, and it does not break the bank. They're not like crazy cheap, but you know, it's not like $100 a light. This is a little wobbly, but it's okay. It's okay. She's in. She's in. I kind of had this same thought process when I said, oh, like if Soltech ever approached me to collaborate with me, which I don't think they ever will, but if they did, I don't know if I would take the sponsorship because of the price point. It's like it's over $100 Canadian for a single bulb, which is crazy. And I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on Soltech, because I like Soltech. I bought 2 Soltech lights on my own, And I love the color temperature. My albo is growing so beautifully under it. It's keeping that white. And I really don't have anything bad to say about it except the fact that it's not easily accessible. And really what I paid for truly was the color temperature. I paid for the color temperature because that's the color temperature that I wanted in my living room. Sorry, really quickly, the next plant that I'm repotting is a plant that I got from Alice. I don't know if she got this in a trade or if she got this from IAS, but this is the TA longleaf, Tim Anderson longleaf crossed with the stripy mag F2 from Hunter. And it's in this really, really tiny pot, so I want to get it into something a lot bigger. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I bought it for the color temperature, and I just don't know if I would feel comfortable like receiving like hundreds of dollars worth of free product and then pushed it onto you guys and said, you guys should buy it. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels weird to me. And it's the fact that like I could not easily buy it myself if I wanted to. Like, ideally I would have loved to do a Soltech track light system in my living room, but that's just not going to happen. I do plan on getting a Home Depot track light system to use with my Soltech Vita bulbs, but I need 4 bulbs and that's going to run me like $400, and it hurts. I just don't know if I can do it. But in my opinion, nobody has as nice of a color temperature bulb than Soltech does. So anyway, all of that said, I do feel a certain way when I get free plants, whether it's gift or collaboration or even a trade, mostly because, can you tell I've thought about this a lot? I've had this conversation before on my YouTube, and people have said, well, it's not like you're not working for it, or it's not like you didn't earn it, you know? But at the same time, yes, I put in the work to make this platform for myself, but it's like, what would it be without you guys? Like, you guys are the platform. You know, if you guys weren't here watching, I wouldn't be here doing this. And so, yeah, I want to be mindful of the things that I'm like putting in front of you, because I know the powers of influence, and I don't want you guys to like be spending money unnecessarily. Not to say Soltech is an unnecessary buy, because I really do like Soltech. I really like their lights. I think they perform well. They're beautiful. And really, I have nothing bad to say about it except for the price. And so, yeah, I don't take this position lightly at all. Anytime I get something for free, anytime someone wants to collaborate with me, especially if it's like a brand that I love and that I've bought with my own money, I do feel very grateful, and I feel like, truly, I feel like I don't deserve it sometimes, but I want to kind of make sure that I'm always in touch, if that makes sense. I don't ever want to be out of touch. I don't ever want to be out of touch in just accepting product left and right and accepting sponsorship money left and right. Like, I still want to feel like one of the boys. You know what I mean? Okay, Archie is absolutely losing his bananas, so be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Let's, I just want to reuse this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go in this size, and I'm not even gonna wash it because, you know, I'm feeling spicy today. Do I want to do leca? We're hanging. I'm just gonna pick out the leca from here and reuse it. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, I want to always be, what did I say earlier? I want to be in touch with reality, just because I feel like so many influencers out there, it's like a plague. It's just so out of touch with like everything going on in the world, and it's like, yeah, it's it's actually infuriating, and I just don't want to be one of them, and I don't want to contribute to that culture of out of touchness. So yeah, I do try and be mindful of the things that I am pushing on this channel, but you know, also keep in mind this is my job. I do have to take sponsorships because just to put it out there, ad revenue isn't enough for the amount of views that my videos get and how many ads that I put in each video. It's just not enough, and so sponsorships really help keep this channel afloat, but it's not like I'm willing to do it at the expense of upholding my like values as a, I guess, content creator. So yeah, I'm not just gonna take any money that's thrown my way. You know, I want to make sure that I'm picky and choosy about the brands that I work with and stuff like that. And when I do accept free plants, it's like plants that I would actually want to buy myself. And yeah, that's too much leca now. And I will say I do get a lot of free plants. I mean, whether it's through trade or just gifted from different people, I do get a lot of free plants, and I do get a lot of opportunities to get free plants, like my, you know, ongoing partnership with Palm Street, which I'm really grateful for. But it is one of the perks of being in this line of work, I guess. You know, like if you're in something like the beauty industry or whatever, like if you're one of like the top of the top, you get to go on brand trips, and makeup brands have money to throw at you, you know, for just like one sponsored video. Keep in mind that the plant industry, we don't quite have that. We don't have the same kind of cash flow from brands and companies that an industry like the beauty industry has. And so, yeah, when we do get the opportunity to work with brands and different shops that, you know, want to do a collaboration, it is one of like the highlights of being able to do this. So I'm also not going to sit here and just say like, oh, I only, you know, I'm never going to do anything that, you know, you guys don't have the opportunity to do, like, because that wouldn't be truthful. I do take opportunities that come my way, especially if it is something that is of monetary value that I find worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it because this is my job. So I guess it's just like a balancing act, and always kind of making sure that I check myself and just make sure that I'm not being excessive, if that makes sense. Okay, that is done. And now the next one that I want to do is this cutie pie from Dania. Oh, where's my tag? I'm gonna freaking... This is an AOS, or this is a Bessier Af crossed with an AOS green from Dania. And I really actually love the AOS green, but since the Bessier is the mother, I was kind of thinking that it would look more Bess, but at this point it kind of looks more Ace, which is really nice, and it's really like bumpy and bolate, and it's turning out really cute. So I am excited for this one. I don't know if I want to get it into one. No, I think this size is going to be good for this. I don't want to go too much. I do think it would be really cool though, like let's say that Palm Street like did end up blowing up way more, like, you know, their profit margins were like a lot bigger, and they were just continuing on with the success that they've had so far. Wouldn't that be crazy if they did like the first ever like plant influencer brand trip and sent us to like Ecuador or something? Sent us somewhere to see plants in their natural habitat. That would be so cool. I am hoping that Palm Street sends me to IAS next year. I was supposed to go this year. They had invited me to go, but I couldn't because I was literally, like 2 months postpartum or something like that. And I was pumping like every 2 hours or something. And I was like, no, I just can't do it. Alice was like, please, just come. But I just couldn't do it. was gonna be like, the logistics of it was too stressful to even think about. Going from like the convention center or whatever back to the hotel every 2 hours, no matter where we were. I would have been a, I was gonna say a tumor. I was gonna be baggage for them. And I just think I wouldn't have been a lot of fun because yeah, I was still in the thick of like postpartum and I needed some time to sort of like clear the fog. Yeah, but maybe next year that would be great. I don't plan on getting pregnant again, ever. And so, yeah, it should be fun next year if Palm Street is willing to send Alice again and send me with her. That would be so much fun. I would love to meet some of you guys there, and I had really bad FOMO, trust me. I mean, it helped that I was in California that weekend and like I wasn't at home just like sulking, but I really would have loved to go. It seems like everyone that went had a lot of fun. But I was telling Alice, like, I wish that we could do like more nursery stops before IAS. Like if we could go like fly somewhere, I don't know, Texas or something, and go to like, I don't even know where I'd want to go, but I don't know, it would be fun to go on like a week-long vacation with Alice. Okay, done and done. I love repotting these little guys, it's just so quick. The next one I'm going to repot, I need to redo the tag on this. It is a mag hybrid self. This one is from Bunny. She sent this kind of a long time ago and it's still so tiny and it keeps drying out. So I want to get it in something bigger than this. But okay, so I think I answered that question the way I wanted to answer it. And then the last question, this is the last question I'm going to answer. It is, how do you deal with comparison mindset? And I think this can go so many ways. It can go in the way of comparing myself to other YouTubers. It can go comparing myself to other people's plant collection and other influencers on Instagram, whatever. I think that the temptation to compare is definitely there. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been there for sure. There was a point in time where I was pretty obsessed over numbers. Not so much on Instagram, but like when I got started on YouTube. And I was just wondering why was my growth so much slower than this influencer and that influencer? Because if you look at some of like the biggest influencers in this niche, it's like into the hundreds of thousands. So it's like, obviously it's there, right? The people are there. Because then I was thinking, oh, maybe, you know, I'm just like capping out at like this number because there's only so much of us out there. But then you have an influencer that has like 500,000 followers, 600,000 followers, and you're like, no, maybe they just don't like me, or like the exposure is not there. I'm not marketing myself the right way. Sorry, I set an alarm to prep something, so I just need to snooze it. And so, yeah, I kind of like spiraled a little bit. Like, is it me? Is it the kind of content I make? Is it the quality of content that I make? Is it the kind of pictures I'm taking? Like, I just started like over analyzing everything and just like wondering why my growth wasn't as fast as other people's. And then I kind of just got to a point where I was tired of stressing over it, and I just said, you know, let's just like focus on like who is actually here and who continues to watch. Like, why do they watch this channel? Like, what has gotten me to this point so far? And like, let's just ride that wave, you know? It's not to say that like I'm not open to change and stuff like that, but I think when you continually want more, you'll never be satisfied. It's sort of like that same concept of, oh, my goal is to hit 5,000 followers. And then once you hit 5, you're like, okay, but like, what if I had 10? and then you don't really get to like sit and celebrate the 5 and celebrate your initial goal. And you're always going to be moving the finish line, right? I think that's like kind of part of human nature now in the kind of world that we live in, of like instant gratification and everybody showing like the best parts of their lives on social media. It's easy to get sucked into comparing your life with other people's, and I do it all the time. I really do. I try not to, but it's kind of natural, just because it's not that I'm like competitive, but I have certain expectations of myself. I have certain things that I want to accomplish in life before I die. I want to live in my absolute dream home before I die, and I want to enjoy my dream home while I'm young. I don't want to have my dream home when I'm like 70 years old and ready to go into like hospice or something, you know? And so when I see people my age and I see my peers sort of hitting these goals and milestones in life, and I'm not there yet, it really does eat away at me. But I think that something that I learned to do is to just practice gratitude. And I know that sounds really cliche and it sounds really fake almost, like I'm gaslighting you guys, but it's true. And I just like try to remind myself, like, remember when you wanted everything that you have now. Like, remember that time where everything you have right now, all the plants that you have right now, all of the things you have in the house right now, remember like a time where you did not think that was attainable. And now that I'm sitting in it and I'm living it, and I'm still not grateful, or I'm still wanting more. It's too exhausting to live that way. And so I have to actively practice gratitude. I don't think it's something that you just like learn and then it like sticks with you forever. I do think that it's sort of ever evolving, and you have to keep sort of like working that muscle. But yeah, like right now I'm just trying to be grateful. Like, you know, I have to remind myself that there are probably so many other people that have tried to become a plant influencer, that have tried to get their Instagram to blow up, that have tried to start a YouTube channel and like nothing really took off, or they're having a hard time getting it off the ground. And like, yeah, I have 20,000 subscribers, and I should just be grateful for that. Like, not a lot of people get that kind of opportunity. And so I try and tell myself those kinds of things in terms of, I guess, just my life, and then also being like a social media person, whatever. But if we're talking specifically about plants, the next plant I'm gonna do is this Fort Sherman Ralphinum. It is in leca and it dries out so much. I think I wanna get this into pond. Oh, it has spider mites, you bastard. You bastard. Okay, I'm gonna have to treat that too. Pond? No, I think I'm gonna do soil. Specifically when it comes to comparing your plant collections, I think that's something that we tend to do. Surprisingly, I don't actually do that anymore. I don't know if it's because I've gotten to a point where like I understand what it feels like to be truly, truly overwhelmed with the amount of plants that you have. And like, even when like a friend gets a plant that is on my wish list or something, I actually really, truly, and I mean this, I'm being so honest with you guys, I don't feel any type of jealousy or anything. I don't know why. It just kind of like the desire to have all of my wish list plants, it kind of just like went away one day, and I just kind of felt like if I was gonna own that plant one day, like it would happen on its own. But I don't feel that jealousy anymore. I did before, for sure. Like, I would look at other people's collection and be like, my plants suck compared to so-and-so's, or
you know, that person has access to like this grower and that grower. And I don't know, I just kind of stopped caring after a while. And yeah, I say this all the time, but the collection that I have now, I never even could have imagined, like beyond my wildest dreams, that I would have it. And I owe a lot of that to the people that, you know, I've met through social media and like the friendships that I've made in doing trades and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I just want to focus on what I have. I think I always try and remind myself that like prices eventually will come down. I really don't think there's any plant out there, I truly believe this now, that is not going to be accessible to the masses at some point. Whether that's tomorrow or 30 years from now, I just don't think there is any one plant out there that is gonna uphold that insane market value. Like, it's gonna come down. You know, there's gonna be a time where you will own your wish list plant, you will own your dream plant. But it's like, if you rush it, if you keep trying to like own everything right away, it kind of takes the fun out of it. Like, I almost feel like one of the really fun parts about collecting plants is like the build up to get there. So yeah, I would say just like, don't feel like you ever need to be in a rush to own a plant, especially with like this whole Anthurium Michelle thing happening. Like, it's crazy. The plants are huge. They are beautiful. I have FOMO bad. I was like, I am willing to drive down to Washington to do whatever I need to do to find one of these plants. But, you know, I'm not like, it's not like a life or death situation. It'd be nice to have. But yeah, it's like, do I get jealous that some people have access to plants that I really want? Sure, it's nice for them. But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, and I'm not gonna put myself in a financial situation that is going to put me at risk just so that I can have it. Before, when I had any kind of extra cash, my immediate thought was plants. Like, what plant can I get, you know? And now that's like, it's almost my last thought, really. Like, I don't feel that need to just like go and spend and buy. I'm not sure if everyone kind of has to go through that phase though in the beginning and like almost get it out of their system. What do you guys think? I feel like the reason that I've come to the place that I'm in now is because I got to experience that, and I know what it feels like, and I'm over it. But yeah, I don't really know. I think everyone is gonna have their own process. I love this plant, but it hates me. It hates me so. Look at how curled the leaves are. The roots keep like dying back. This I had to chop already once because I let it completely dry out and it just lost all of its roots. I don't really know if I have anything else to say beyond what I've already said. But I guess closing thoughts is like, don't feel bad. Everybody has the tendency to compare themselves to other people. I think it's natural, just happens. I think I put too much leca in here. Yeah, it happens. And I don't think that it means that you're like an insecure person or you have a problem or whatever. I think it's just natural, because we all want to live a good life. We all want to be happy. We all want to have the nice things, but we all have different circumstances at the end of the day. And I've talked about this on my channel a lot, but one of the biggest things for me lately in terms of coming to terms with it is that I'm not gonna probably own the house that I want to own for another few decades. Even owning a detached home is not in my foreseeable future because of the market out here in Canada. The housing market is FUCKED. It's a hard pill to swallow, because that was quite literally the only dream I had in life, was to own a beautiful home. And I think about, I don't know.
I do get angry sometimes at my husband because I guess I'm upset that when I agreed to move here, I didn't know how bad the housing market was. And I think that I got excited about like the life that we could have together, and I imagined us in this beautiful home living there together. We didn't want kids, and so I didn't see kids in this picture, but I almost feel like robbed of like the only dream I had in life. And I do get you know, I've gotten upset before that like any talks of moving back to the States is kind of like immediately shut down. I mean, I don't blame him for hating America, but yeah, it's a thing, right? Like I do sometimes lose sleep over it because I feel like it's not a lot to ask. I don't ask to like live this lavish life. I don't ask to go on vacations every year. I don't ask for designer things. I don't ask to be wined and dined. And all I want is just like a place that we're proud of, that we can call our own, that sort of checks the boxes that I have. But I think that having Archie kind of maybe not put things into perspective so much, but I just sort of like, I sit with him and I look around in our rented home and I'm just like, you can't like really put a price on that. Like I'm so happy with Archie and I'm so happy with my husband, and we do have a good life here, and I should be grateful for that, and I am grateful for that. Am I always wanting more? Yes. Especially now with Archie, like I want him to have more than I was ever given. I want him to inherit wealth. I want him to be able to go to school and not worry about tuition if school is something like, you know, college is something he wants to do. I want to be able to provide that for him. I want him to have a house that he inherits. I just want better for him. I'm not trying to, you know, say I want him to be like crazy wealthy when we pass, but I want him to feel like he had a comfortable life and was given opportunities because we were able to provide that for him. I do still want him to understand what it is to kind of be hard up though, because I feel like that really shaped the kind of person that I am today. But I don't think that, you know, wanting him to have inherent wealth is a bad thing, as long as he can, you know, manage it the right way. And of course, that's something that we hope to teach him as well. Yeah, where was I going with this? I guess in general, I am just trying to practice gratitude for what I have in all aspects of my life. Do I still want more? Yes, but I'm happy. Like I'm happy. And I don't feel like me losing sleep over the plants I don't have is worth the energy. So I hope maybe that helps some of you guys who might be going through FOMO right now with, you know, feeling like you're not able to have access to the plants that you really want, or even if you're feeling really sad that you don't have, you know, the Michelles haven't hit your area or whatever. They'll come, you guys. Just give it some time. I have this really funny thing, this like pine cone looking plant from my friend Jessie, and I love it so much, and it's grown so much, but it dries out really fast in that tiny little pot. I don't know if I kind of want to move it to soil. Like it's done pretty okay in pond. It's not done bad, but this almost just seems like a plant that would do way better in soil. There's a bit of root rot. I am gonna do no drainage still though. I've got this little pot with feet. I think it would be cute in it. I don't really have anything else to put in it at the moment, so they'll have to be friends. And I am gonna do a soil conversion because it just feels right.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much all I have to say about that. I hope it helped. If it didn't, I'm sorry. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just a girl. I almost feel like I could get it into a denser mix. By the way, I'm repotting everything now in a tree fern soil mix. I used to only just do my anthurium, but now I'm just too lazy to like always have 2 different kinds of soils. I'm like, you know what? You get tree fern fiber, you get tree fern fiber. Talking about tree fern fiber, does anybody else feel like the quality of tree fern fiber has significantly diminished since its rising popularity? I feel like, I want to say 65% of the bags of tree fern fiber that I get are all stick and dust and very little actual like usable fibers. It's all these really, really super long sticks and like clusters of just sticks, or these masses of tree fern that's not separated, and it's just like a husk. If it wasn't as expensive, I wouldn't care, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the quality has significantly diminished. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna fill the top with some rock so that it's cute. But I am going to end the video here because you can hear my child screaming. He is due for a nap. I need to have some lunch. But guys, it's been real this week. We got so much done together. Thank you so much for keeping me company. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, this is gonna be my last week of 2024. This is not gonna be my last video of 2024. There's gonna be one more that goes up after this, and I think I'm gonna try and go live one more time before the new year. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we'll see. But I thank you all. I thank you all for making this series so good, so good. We were talking about original ideas before. I do think I was the first. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think I was the first plant YouTuber to do the week of series. Super long, document all week chores. And the reason I take so much pride in this series is because I think it's the thing that kind of got my YouTube channel off the floor. Some of the view counts on my week ofs are like mind-blowing. I'm just like, what? Why are there so many views on this? And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for making this series so special, and for it being a reason that you guys come back here week after week, or month after month, I guess. If you only come here for the week ofs, that's okay too. But yeah, it's been almost exactly 2 years that I've been doing the week ofs. I think I got the first ever week of out in January of 2022. I think it was like January 1st, 2022 or something like that. It's been a hard series to continue on because it's like an entire week, or several days of filming, and then 3 hours of, not 3 hours of footage. It's, guys, for a 3-hour video, I go through at least 6 to 7 hours of footage. It's crazy. It's a lot of editing. It is a lot of editing, but it's worth it. And I know that you guys like to put these kinds of videos on in the background while you're doing plant stuff, so it's worth it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. I hope that I was able to keep you company while you did plant chores, or even if you were just sitting on the couch doing nothing, eating some Doritos and Nerds gummy ropes. What else? Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you, I was gonna say see you next year, not yet. I will see you one more time in the new year on a Saturday maybe. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.